start stream. Is that right? Hold on, I've got static. Hold on. Okay.
Know when you see them, cause they're so real. Already know exactly how you feel. See the head, not like seeing a steeple. You damn well know they're one of the people. Nobody breaks us, nobody made us. And no one can take this cause we got their fix. We are the people, we are the people, we are the people. Don't mess with this. Let's go.
All right, good morning to you, and welcome to Patrick and the People. We are live, and a whole new group of folks in the studio with us today. Glad that you are here. To my right, Mr. Rich Rockwell. You met Rich on Tuesday, wrestling fame and whatnot. The Bruce Buffer of Little Rock, if you will. To my right is Dr. Marla Murphy, the owner of Exceptional PT, physical therapy in Benton, and she is my physical therapist and has been a friend for, goodness, 15, 18 years maybe. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yep, been on forever.
Yeah, it has been forever. And then to my left here, you probably don't even need to be introduced to him. He's pretty famous, Spencer Clawson from Big Brother fame.
Hey, I'm glad to have time to sit here with you, Patrick.
Man,
We've been talking about this for months.
I know we have, man. I called you several months ago and said, hey, man, you're not going to believe what I'm going to do. And, so we had been kind of scheming to get Spencer here in the studio. How you been doing?
Good. Been doing great. Really good.
What's been going on with you since I've seen you last?
To see me last, I think I told you that Marilyn and I have been doing a remodel in our house, which has been not a disaster, but the length of time has taken its toll on us.
No.
Yes. We've aged like 4 years this 1 year alone.
No, having a renovation going on while you're in the house is really a challenge to deal with.
But, the job at the city is great. I work with some wonderful people, and we're doing some good things. So
now you're kind of a wig up at the city of Conway, right?
I don't know if you call me a wig. I'm the director of public works.
That sounds important.
I'm over code enforcement and physical plan.
Code enforcement.
Code enforcement.
Now, what is that exactly? What do you mean by that?
Code enforcement, our primary function is to enforce the nuisance abatement code with the city of Conway.
Yeah.
That's anything from, it's mostly like safety and beautification aspects of the city. So, you get your basics like tall grass, you get things like that, stagnant water, tires, junk accumulation, things like that.
Okay, so when they Saline County up their business, you got to do something
That's
about
right.
it.
We got to straighten them out. We
understand.
don't you folks know what city this is? This is Conway. You got to do a little bit better.
No, I get that. I get that.
Take that up the road.
So you got a lot of folks that are out and about that are working in your department, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I've got 12 people that work with me.
A bunch of snitches that drive around looking for stuff.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. That's a terrible way to phrase it. Dr. Marla, so what's going on at Exceptional PT these days? What's happening over there?
Well, we're getting busier, just fixing everybody.
How many years have you been in business? How many years is it now?
11.
11 years. Oh, my God, it has?
Yeah.
Wow, that is
I
crazy.
did not think we'd make it past the first year.
No?
No.
No, really, I'm surprised.
85% of PT clinics fail the first year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what I've always enjoyed about Dr. Marla is the whole group there is very fun. They're very enjoyable. If you're going to have physical therapy, it may as well be fun. But what made me come back is that TENS machine, I think is what it's called. She hooks up the electricity to you, and I don't know what does that do when you hook those up?
It kind of cuts off the pathway between the pain pathway between the brain and the pain.
Okay.
And it doesn't fix anything. It just feels good.
It does feel very good. I'll tell you that. Yeah, a lot of people. As a matter of fact, my neighbor the other day said, "Yeah, I got a home one."
Yeah, I can get you one.
Yeah, you get the home version,
You can.
and you can just zap yourself.
Yep.
It's really pretty amazing what it does do. No, it is very
Feels
helpful.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the next big wrestling event, Rich? What's going on over there, man?
Oh, we got a couple of events coming up next Saturday, actually, October 26th. We've got South Central Wrestling out in Mountain Pine and Gladiator Championship Wrestling up in Ozark. So no matter which side of the state you're on, there's some action going on. And then this Saturday, actually, in Hot Springs, we have the Walk of Fame where they're going to honor some former pro wrestlers from the Arkansas area.
Yeah.
We're getting
Yeah, I'm getting some static
a little
here,
bit.
Gunner. Here, let me move this like that. Will that help? I don't know. I'm still hearing it, man. I don't know where it's feeding back from. But now you're saying former pro wrestlers
Yes, sir.
and athletes like who?
So we've got here. Let me just pull it up here.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah, this is cool. I'm very interested in this.
Yeah, this
We've
is
been
gonna
watching
be-
some pro wrestling stuff, and I'm really getting into the lore. So,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, man. Yeah. So we've got beautiful Bruce Swayze. He's going to be inducted into the Arkansas Hall of Fame or Walk of
Okay.
Fame. He started in the factory of professional wrestlers in Ontario before moving to Arkansas.
Okay.
Okay.
He was part of a tag team called the Dynamic Duo with his wife Bonnie Swayze, and they actually own Alliance Rubber now out in
Really?
Springs.
Oh wow.
Yes, sir, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
You're gonna have him. You're gonna have the monster Michael Todd. Also
Oh, I know him, the arm wrestling
Yeah,
champion.
the
I
arm
know
wrestling.
Michael. I
Yep,
know him.
yep.
He's
He's
all
gonna be
right. Him and
inducted.
his wife Rebecca, nice people.
Yeah, absolutely. And Big Bear Sonny Liston is also
Oh, Sonny Liston, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be
that
a-
is big time.
going to be a good time. It's happening down at the Vapors.
Lounge?
Yeah, the Vapors Lounge in Hot Springs.
Okay, okay.
And I got word that also WWE Hall of Famer Hillbilly Jim will be there
Oh,
also.
whoa. He was one of my
So-
favorites as a kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be awesome
Right
to have
on.
him.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking the other day when I was a kid. My grandfather, he was into. He called it wrestling. That's
Yeah,
what
sure.
he called it. But-
Wrestling.
Yeah, it was wrestling.
Yes, sir.
But it was the Mid South.
Yep.
That's what it was. So,
Yeah, that was one of the
we had
territories.
Hacksaw Jim Dugan, Junkyard Dog, all those guys, and then later Texas came in, and the Von Erichs and the Freebirds and all of those guys who were, big time. So we used to go, practically once a month to Barton Coliseum,
Yep.
and all the wrestlers. I mean, would be all the big stars would be there, and of course Barton Coliseum isn't that big,
Right.
So they'd walk right past you
Yeah.
coming up, and it was, as a kid, that was the coolest thing ever. Now, I guess my grandfather did not understand it. It was more athletics than not, and he would yell at the TV like it was, the
Yeah.
worst person in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no, he thought that Skandar Akbar and the Iron Sheik were the meanest people on the planet. It's funny because there used to be a wrestler named Kamala, the Ugandan warrior.
Yeah. Yep.
And black paint and paint on his belt, and he would go
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. That dude's from
There's-
Chicago. He was a cab driver, man. What are you talking about, bro? He wasn't from Uganda.
There's actually another guy in the independent scene
Yeah,
that goes by, Kamala Jr.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's
Yeah, like he does
then
the
there's
whole-
Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Well,
Hi-yo.
don't you have to hit the button for that one?
Oh yeah. You're right. I can't say candidate names around here. We don't do that.
Did y'all watch the Iron Claw?
I
Von Erich's movie?
haven't finished it, but I started it.
Okay.
Did you like it?
No, I hated it.
Did you?
Yeah. It's. I like Zac Efron in it. I think he's good.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a Zac Efron fan.
Yeah, I
for some
like him
reason.
too. He's funny.
Yeah, he's not a bad dude. He seems like a.
Seems genuinely
just like a
nice.
genuine cool
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
But no, the movie, like the Von Erich story, is so tragic that they even
Oh,
cut,
it
like
is
one
tragic.
one whole sibling out of it.
Here,
So
let's
Chris, I think it is.
There we go.
I don't know how to
Get
do
your
it.
no, you're
It's
fine.
good.
They're just keeping you.
Okay.
He's saying
They
it
like
like
to see your
your beautiful face.
Yeah, sure, thanks. But
that's what it
yeah,
was.
they even had to cut like one whole tragedy out of it, leaving a sibling completely out of the whole thing.
Who, David?
I think it's Chris.
Oh, Chris.
Is there-
Okay. Yeah, their story was just the worst,
Oh,
man.
it's so sad.
But
yeah.
but I mean, it really was about steroids more than anything else. I mean, hell, everybody was juicing up and coking up and doing everything back then.
I mean, it's the 80s, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, I mean,
what
that's
they were-
70s, 80s, yeah.
That's that whole. If you ever watch, what's it called? Dark Side of the Ring. That's
Yeah.
a great documentary
Really?
series about. It's an anthology thing about just different wrestlers and just about how it's mostly drugs, alcohol, pills catches up with them.
Yeah.
And their lifestyle
Yeah,
of
over time.
constant
Well, look,
touring and stuff.
And beating your body up
Yeah,
and
yeah, it's
pain
crazy.
management
Yeah, yeah.
and all of those
So,
things,
and
right?
The Von Erichs are just basically the story of what generationally
yeah.
what happens when an entire generation does that.
But if you
So,
don't
two
know,
generations actually.
if you don't know, and you might not, the Von Erichs were, I mean, they were the biggest thing on the planet for a minute, you
Yeah.
know, and Ric Flair, he was so good. You know, there were several different wrestling divisions. You know, you had the Mid-South, you had Texas, you had all these different
AWA.
ones.
Yep.
He was the only person who was going to all of them as the villain.
Okay.
And that's how he became so big, because everywhere he went, it didn't matter what division it was. Everybody knew, woo, Ric Flair,
Sure.
baby, you know?
The guy that plays Ric Flair in Iron Claw looks like Uncle Baby Billy from
Oh,
Righteous
from
Gemstones.
The Righteous
Really
Gemstones?
could have found it. I think I could have played Ric Flair better.
If you haven't seen The Righteous Gemstones, please don't run or don't walk, run to it, because that show is great. I mean, everybody in it is so amazing. It's an A-list cast.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It
you.
was called what?
The Righteous Gemstones. It's got Danny McBride, Adam Devine, who
Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins,
yeah.
John Goodman.
John Goodman. Yeah, but they play kind of a like a Billy Graham type family, or a Joel Osteen type family. They're a televangelist family, and but it's absolutely farcical. But it's so weird because the stories are so insane. It's so farcical, but the writing that Danny McBride does is so good. You still somehow like the characters and are invested in them. Even though it's over the top. I mean, it's obviously insane.
Right.
Everything that happens in it, it gets more and more insane. When you think it can't get more insane, it does.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Walton Goggins, I think, steals every
he's
scene
hilarious.
that he's
Yeah.
in. He's
No.
so
It's
good.
the sister. The sister.
The
is
sister's
Oh, the
is
sister's
the funniest of the
awesome.
siblings.
hilarious.
She has all the best lines.
Yeah.
She says the craziest stuff of anybody, doesn't she?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, we got to get to a little news here. Let's
Brought to you by the new herpes. If you have old herpes, new
we'll push that button and push this button.
You're so stressed. Want me to make you happy with my mouse?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, let's get to some birthdays here. Let's talk about who is, getting a little older today, who outran the Grim Reaper. So Mark Gatiss from Doctor Who is 58. Let's see, Felicity Jones from Rogue One is 41. Chris Lowell from Private Practice is 40. Oh, Michael McKean, you know him from Better Call Saul or Laverne and Shirley is 77. George Wendt from Cheers, 76. Now in music, Eminem is 52. Slim Shady is 52, y'all. He's in his 50s. How about that? That'd make you feel a little older. Alan Jackson is 66, famous country singer. Wycliffe Jean is 55. Gunner's favorite band, Chris Kirkpatrick, NSYNC, 53. Ziggy Marley is 56. And golfer Ernie Els is 55. Director Mike Judge, he created Beavis and Butthead, which is amazing, is 62. As a matter of fact, the last Beavis and Butthead movie was awesome, too. I like those guys. They make me laugh. They're stupid, but they make me laugh a lot.
I think everybody knows a Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, yeah. You know what's funny is my wife's grandmother, who did not speak English at all, she was Costa Rican, and they came to visit here, and she didn't even know what they were saying, and she thought that show was hilarious. And she was a grown-ass woman sitting there watching a cartoon, thinking it was the funniest thing, didn't even know what they were saying, but I get it. I mean, they're just funny to look at, too.
What about George Wendt being 76? Whoever thought he would live to be?
Man, are you kidding me? Right? Like John Goodman. You thought, man, these guys are so thick. They're gonna
Exactly.
They're gonna Chris Farley any second.
Yeah, I know. I'm a huge Frasier fan, and
Oh, yeah?
this is like a 25-year-old episode, but they do a guest starring thing with George Wendt comes on as Norm, of course.
Okay.
And he's got like this leaky eye, and it's not part of the show. It's like
It's
he was
just
in rough shape.
he was in bad
so,
shape.
Yeah, so 76, good for George. He
Have
must
you-
have turned it around.
Have you seen him lately? Because he's looking pretty rough.
Is he?
Oh, really? Jeez, no.
Did he Ozempic yet?
I don't think so.
No, he had
I
no
don't know
Ozempic.
that.
John Goodman did.
He did. For sure.
Yeah, John Goodman did for sure. I know that.
Norm's looking.
Looking rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no rougher than Cliff. Did I say that? That's probably wrong. Here, let me.
They were. Sorry to interrupt you here. They were saying on Facebook they can't hear Dr. Marla over here.
Oh, Dr. Marla, make sure
Yelling as loud as I can.
here. Let's push up her mic a little bit. Talk again.
Hi. There. I can hear me
Okay.
now.
Now straighten it up just a little bit. There you go, like that. All right, let's go with this. The Pentagon is still investigating a drone incursion that happened over at Langley Air Force Base. A new report says the probe into a swarm of drones that breached the airspace around the Virginia base for more than 2 weeks in December. A Pentagon spokesperson said the drones didn't show hostile intent. Well, what kind of intent did they show? I mean, what are they, curious intent? I mean, they're doing something. They could have been shot down. Investigators still trying to determine if they were flown by civilians or a foreign government. Ooh. If you've ever tried to cancel a subscription, you know how difficult it can be. And some of them do make it hard, like if you do, these trials or whatever to cancel. But the Federal Trade Commission is changing that. It announced it would soon put in place a final click to cancel rule. That's going to make sellers make it easier for you to cancel your enrollment when you sign up. Let's see.
I like that.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Absolutely. It's too hard. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
They want to confuse people and frustrate you, and sometimes you think you've, unsubscribed or unfollowed something or whatever.
Yeah.
And you haven't. So I like that.
No, I do too. I can't remember what it was that we tried to cancel, and they wouldn't. I got all the way through the process, and it says, "Oh, it's not the device you signed up with."
Oh.
And I was like, "You son of a bitch!"
Yeah. They
I knew
knew
that-
that at the beginning, and they didn't
Yeah,
tell you.
that's right. That's right. Okay, so if you believe this, and I don't know if you do, we hadn't even got to Halloween yet, but Aldi is looking ahead to Thanksgiving. They've announced an inflation-busting holiday meal. Is it called Spam? So here's the deal. It comes out to $47 to feed a family of 10. That's $4.70 a person. Do you believe you could feed your family for $4.70 a person on Thanksgiving?
No.
No? You?
No. I mean, not well.
Not well. That's correct. Not make them happy when they leave.
was
They'll
gonna
talk
say,
crap. They'll be talking shit about you.
Yeah.
Does $47 even cover the cost of the turkey?
Well, it's Aldi's lowest price Thanksgiving. They say $2 cheaper than Walmart's deal, which is $7 ahead. So what do you get for $47? A 16-pound turkey with spice and gravy. You get rolls. You get some mac and cheese. You get stuffing. And then ingredients for cranberry sauce, potatoes, sweet potato casserole, green beans, and pumpkin pie.
What does everybody get? Just a tablespoon of food? Or
Yeah, it seems like it. It seems
Yeah.
like for $47,
Size.
you're getting nearly the vegan size plate, All right, some other news here. It appears that Vice President Kamala Harris participated in a fairly combative interview. Well, you would expect that. She went on Fox with Brett Baer. During the interview, Baer asked questions about immigration, what she would do differently as a president, which she said, my presidency would not be a continuation of Joe Biden's. The communication director for the Harris campaign said, we feel like we achieved what we set out to achieve in the interview. I did not see it. I don't watch any of that stuff. All of it annoys me. All right. Okay, so it looks like President Joe Biden in talk with President Vladimir Zelensky yesterday about surging assistance to the country and announced, oh, good, a new $425 million aid package. Well, they needed more money, so we'll send them some. The new aid includes air defense capability, air-to-ground munitions, armored vehicles, et cetera, et cetera. The Supreme Court rejected emergency request yesterday that wanted the court to block the administration's move to enforce curbs on carbon emissions from coal and gas-fired power plants. The court didn't block the action. It's still working through the system. It'll now go before the Court of Appeals and could end up back in front of the Supreme Court. The Bruce Pack recall continues to grow. Nationwide recall of ready-to-eat meals has grown to about 12 million pounds of product nationwide. Costco, Target, Walmart, Trader Joe's, Kroger, potentially dangerous listeria in those products.
And what's this?
It's
what's it in?
Bruce Pack. It's meat and poultry.
Is Aldi in on that one?
They didn't say they were, but it could be. Maybe that's the
Thanksgiving deal?
discount. Is that the
Yeah.
discount? No, it makes sense. A man was arrested yesterday in Hillsborough County, Florida. Why? Well, he was threatening the utility workers. That's always good. The crews were working on restoring power to about 20,000 people without electricity, had traffic blocked, and 57-year-old Ken Velasco got pissed off, backed into a utility pole, a fence, tried to leave. Utility workers tried to keep him from leaving the scene. He drove toward the workers, causing them to jump, threatened to shoot him. He was arrested without incident for being a dick. And a bridge over the Strong River on Highway 149 in Simpson County, Mississippi was closed and being demolished when it collapsed yesterday, killing 3 of the workers on the demolition team.
Oh, wow.
Now they said, hold my beer, and they didn't even get to finish. The bridge was part of a big replacement project that had been closed since September 18th. Hey, here's a little bit of a good news story. When Brooklyn lab tech Mikhail Kornick switched jobs last year, he wanted to move his retirement account from his previous employer. He had been contributing to the account for about a decade. Said the only way he could collect his $60,000 was for them to send him a check in the mail. Well, he never saw it. It was stolen from the mail and cashed by a criminal. Despite proving the check was stolen, he struggled for a year to get his money back. He had been in ongoing communication with the bank, which was responsible for handling it. Nothing was resolved. He contacted ABC, and they jumped in. And, well, at this time, a check was sent to him via express mail, and now he's got his $60,000.
Good.
So that's good. Always try to screw you, even when you can prove it.
Right.
You know?
That's like horrifying.
It really is. I mean,
know,
it's a lot of money.
That's a ton of money. That's
Yeah.
like a $6
Hell yeah.
check or something.
No, this ain't
That's,
$600. That's
yeah.
$60,000. That's your life you're talking about, man.
Absolutely.
Stern Pinball released Metallica Pinball back in 2013. Wound up being one of the most successful pinball machines in history. Where do you see those, by the way, these successful pinball machines? Anybody know?
I'm not a pinball guy. I
just-
never enjoyed it. It just seemed hokey.
I was never really a fan either, even when it was big. It was
Yeah.
like, it never was as fun as a video game
The
to
video
me.
games are always better. And
lasted
like,
longer.
there's a point where you just started hitting the sides.
Yeah.
And if you're not really playing, you're just kind of like
Just
reacting
banging it,
to
yeah, and
the ball.
hoping that
Yeah.
you'll hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not my thing.
So now it's back as Metallica Remastered, featuring a full-color LCD screen that shows new animations, even live concert videos. I don't know how you play a game and watch a concert video, but it includes expanded gameplay and 22 songs. 22 songs. You'd have to stand there a while to hear that. Or you could just maybe listen to it on your phone or watch a video, or I don't know. No arrest yet in the Jakey Lee shooting. The Vegas PD issued a statement yesterday. He was shot while he was walking his dog. Unfortunately, not a lot of new information. He was shot multiple times. They think it was just completely random. It was just like a drive-by, basically. It just happened to be Jakey Lee.
Who's that?
He was the guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne for a long time.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
unfortunate.
It is. It is. Well, not to be outdone by Aldi, DiGiorno is bringing back their Thanksgiving pizza for a limited time. You have to go to Kroger to get one, since it's only going to be offered there exclusively. If you like a pizza with Thanksgiving ingredients on it, well, here you go. You don't even need a whole meal. Just a pizza with all the stuff on it. It's got a Detroit crust. It's topped with turkey, green beans, gravy sauce, cranberries, cheddar cheese, and onions.
I don't think so.
Ugh.
That sounds like you should take it right out of the oven and drop it right in a trash can.
And who thought it was a good idea at Kroger's to be like, we're going to be the only ones to sell this. We want it all.
That's a Kroger thing to do. All right, let's get to some sports. Jerry Jones went into defensive mode. He was taking time with The Athletic to explain his outburst earlier this week on a Dallas radio show, in which he appeared to threaten the show's hosts with their jobs. He doubled down on his comments, saying his attitude would have been different had questions about how the Cowboys handled their offseason asked by real fans or by people who knew what they were talking about, the connotation being, of course, the host didn't and didn't have any idea what they were talking about. Among those taking issues with Jones was Shannon Sharp on First Take. He didn't hold back. He voiced his hate and detest over someone in power putting someone beneath them. Look, that's who Jerry Jones is. He's always been that cat. It's not going to be anything different. It's Jerry Jones. He's got a lot of money. He's a billionaire. Yeah. He doesn't give a damn. How old is he? He's past the stage of caring about what he says or thinks or what anybody else thinks either. He's like, I'm rich and I'm old.
And he's got a brand to protect.
Yeah.
If you think somebody's taking cheap shots, that's like you want your boss to stand up for you.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I didn't hear it, but, as long as it didn't take too negative of a turn or too hateful or too threatening.
Yeah.
It's cool that he stands up and says, hey, I'm not going to put up with this crap.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. Just under a month.
Pro Jerry, sorry.
You're pro Jerry. No, that's fine. That's fine. I just wish they'd get a W. Just under a month before the fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. First of all, is this thing going to happen?
I don't know.
You think it's ever going to make it?
There's a guy that I work with that is so excited. It's all he can talk about. Well, not all, but it's one of his
It's
primary
very
topics
high
of
on his
conversation.
list.
He's so excited. He grew up at the time that we did, where Iron Mike is like the dude.
No, Iron Mike
you
would
don't
kill
play
you.
with Mike. Even at this age, he's still like a terrifying man.
Oh no,
the spectacle of it, I think a lot of people are wrapped up in. I feel like it'll happen. I think they pulled the plug once already.
Yeah.
If they do it again, it's going to be kind of like, crying wolf or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know.
How about what, Rich?
I hope it happens, but
Yeah.
I kind of thought it already did. Like,
No,
it's still
no.
going on.
No, they're going to milk this for everything they can. You know what I'm saying? Do you like fighting, Marla?
Yeah, Jason's a boxer.
Oh, really? I didn't know Jason boxed. I knew he did a lot of things. Didn't know he did that.
He's a boxer. His best friend was pro boxer.
Really? Oh, well, that's dope.
Yeah, I love boxing. It's my favorite sport.
So, what do you think of this fight?
Honestly, I'm like Rich. I thought it had already happened. I'd kind of forgotten about it.
Wow.
I'm a huge Mike Tyson fan, though.
Yeah.
I like everything he does.
You know what? Mike is a unique character because he was beloved, then he was hated, like as much as anyone could be hated, I think. And somehow, some way, he came out the other side and changed everything in the narrative.
Dude, he turned it around.
Have you guys-
Nobody has ever turned a narrative
But
bigger.
have you seen his one-man show that's like on Broadway?
I haven't.
It's fantastic.
Is it really?
Really?
Absolutely, yeah.
What does he do?
It's just him talking for like an hour and telling his life story.
It's probably pretty damn fascinating,
It is,
honestly.
and he did such a great job. My jaw dropped. I was so impressed.
Really?
Yeah, you should watch it. I'm thinking it was Netflix. I don't remember. I'm sure Jason
well,
might tell me, but it was great.
He's such a unique character. Like
He is.
When you see him on podcasts and other interviews, like the interviewers are actually they're a little bit scared of him.
Yes.
You can tell.
As
like
you
it
could- as
really
you-
comes across.
why
yeah.
wouldn't you be?
And he's obviously combative. He can back up whatever he says, and
Yes.
he's a little bit of a wild animal. I
Yeah.
really feel
Oh,
like.
no, still,
Like, he
yeah.
would not. I don't think that he would think really for a second about just punching somebody on air if there's an issue.
Oh, no, I think he'd light you up.
Yeah. Oh,
no,
absolutely,
absolutely.
absolutely. He did like some. I don't know if it's like it wasn't a celebrity boxing thing or a charity boxing thing, but there's something a few years ago where he fought. It was like exhibition type things. It's just like 1 minute round, something like that. And fought Roy Jones Jr., I believe. right?
Okay.
And like Roy Jones is no punk.
No,
you
no,
know?
absolutely
And
not.
dude,
He
at
was a
the end of
champion.
it, they were interviewing Mike, and Roy Jones Jr. was standing there. And sorry if it's not Roy Jones Jr. I'm almost positive that's who it is. It was. And dude, Roy Jones was like, I don't want to. I mean,
Yeah.
he can't catch his breath. He can't hold his hands up. He's like, and Mike's like, hey, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good fun.
Yeah.
So like Roy Jones Jr. is no slouch. And
Here's what I don't
he
know.
wore him out.
Yeah, here's what I don't know about this fight. Look, I don't know if is it Jake Paul? Is it?
Yeah,
it's not
Jake.
Logan, right? Jake. I guess he's real to some extent. You know, I mean, I mean, certainly he can fight. I just don't know how real. But my question is really not about him. It's about what Mike Tyson does when he gets in that ring, because he can say it's an exhibition. What I don't know is, does he have complete control over the animal in there, or
Yeah.
is there a hit
I don't think he does.
that
No.
Jake Paul lands and he goes, "Oh, wait a minute,
Oh,
son,
yeah.
you want to play this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Mike Tyson. Let me show you."
There's
yeah.
a little bit of crazy in it.
I'm going to be honest with you, as much as I hate to say it, there'd be nothing I'd love more than to watch Tyson drop Paul.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
for
cold,
sure.
like sleep.
Yeah, for sure.
Take a nap.
I don't think Tyson's got like a governor on him. You know,
That's
I don't
what I
think
wonder.
It's like, I'm going to punch you 80% hard. I don't
Yeah.
think he can do that.
That's what I'm saying. Is he still feral? That's what I
Yeah,
want to know. Is
yeah.
he still feral? So let me get back to the story. Apparently, the attorney is taking issue with a comment made by Paul last week concerning the fight. He offered Tyson $5 million extra if he lasted more than 4 rounds in the ring with him. If Tyson isn't able to last the 4 rounds, he'll have to get a tattoo that reads, "I love Jake Paul." This could be construed the same, he said, as saying, "Don't try to KO me in the early rounds," and might raise questions among those who might consider laying money on the fight, since Texas is calling it a professional bout, not an exhibition. I wonder why they're not calling it an exhibition. I wonder what in the rules.
Yeah, what are the rules that differentiate?
Yeah,
I
because
don't know.
that means that if it's not an exhibition, you might get your ass knocked out.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope he does too. I really am over this influencer, social media
Oh, yeah.
personalities that really get big and like you're supposed to really care about them. That makes me feel like the oldest man in the world. That and Eminem being 52.
Yeah.
But I just can't get on board with these people. I can't keep up with them. I don't really care. I think they're kind of silly, and I would love for Mike Tyson to go out there and do what he does best.
Yeah, I mean, Jake Paul certainly has. I have to respect that he's got where he's gotten. He's making the money that he's making, but it's certainly unorthodox, and a lot of fighters are resentful, I think, of that.
Sure.
You know, but until somebody can knock him out and shut him up.
Yeah, sure.
You know, Floyd Mayweather did sleep him. on his shoulder for a minute, but he held him up till he woke up so they could get through that exhibition. Well, that didn't take long at all. The NCAA put out a new interpretation of the rules regarding a 12-man on the field penalty in the final 2 minutes of either half. Now, if a team has 12 players actively participating, the offense can then choose to have the game clock reset to the time that had been displayed at the snap, in addition to the 5-yard penalty. If a 12th man was trying to leave the field and didn't affect the play, no change would be made. This comes after Oregon Ducks coach Dan Lanning admitted on Monday that his team's 12-man penalty was an intentional ploy to exploit the rule to run time off in the clock in their win against Ohio State. Well, some people might take exception with that, but playing the rules is what you do. I mean, sometimes that's part of winning is knowing the rules and how to use them.
Or you're just Ryan Day, who's a big crybaby.
Yeah, you're a Michigan fan, though.
Yeah, we talked about this on Tuesday.
Yeah, no,
Wasn't
you're
it just last year that, Michigan beat us?
Yeah, you're a Michigan fan, so I have to discount what you say on that. Sorry,
okay.
I know you're biased. I'm not that in the tank for Ohio. I'm still a Razorback guy.
Right.
I just like the Buckeyes because my wife and son do, but I'm still a Razorback fan, which makes no sense at all because we don't do anything. But anyway, okay. Well, let's do something different. We've done enough news for now.
These shows here just keep getting better and better.
Now, exactly how much pot did you smoke?
Patrick and the people. Well, probably quite a bit, to be honest with you. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of other things that I've got lined up here that I want to talk about. First of all, let me just tell you, if you don't know, some improvements and things that we've done here as of yesterday. If you're trying to find us or different ways to listen to us, we're now on Facebook, YouTube, X, Rumble, Odyssey, Quick, Twitch, DLive, our own website, and now on the Patrick and the People website, there is a listen-only option, which a lot of people like when they're driving or doing things like that. Maybe you're at work and you just want to hear it. You don't want the video medium, so you can do that. Truth Social, Google Business, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, iHeart. Suckers. Suck on that, bitch. Suck on that. Sorry. I apologize. I lost my composure. Spotify, Amazon, Audible, Apple, Linktree, and we've got a couple other things coming too, I believe. So that ought to be enough. Find somewhere that you like it, listen to it. Please share it with friends. Just tell folks about it. It's a big help to us, and we do very much appreciate you guys being here. Let me just take a look at comments real quick, see what we got here. Let's see if there's any. Good morning, Connie Kinchin. Let's see. Good morning, Brandon. Hey, Crystal said, "Oh my God, I found it! Yay, hey Patrick, how are you?" John said, "Good morning, everyone. How are you, John?" Ben Hubbard, what's going on, man? Lots of folks out there this morning, so we do appreciate you guys being here and listening and taking part. It's really awesome to have everybody here. Let's talk about a couple things here. Pepsi is trying to win back customers turned off by shrinkflation. If you hadn't noticed, everything's getting smaller. You're paying more, but you're getting less. So one of the problems, they've got a promotion now. They're going to offer more potato chips in the bag of Lay's, Doritos, Tostitos, and Ruffles. They said bonus bags of Tostitos and Ruffles will have 20% more chips at the same price as the standard bag. They said it will also add 2 more small bags of chips to the 18-bag variety because people have been like, listen, I'm getting more air in the bag than I am chips. This is ridiculous. Yeah. Some people remember when a bag of chips was actually full when you opened it.
You hear that. I don't really remember that.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember that.
You don't
always
remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And I've always heard that there's so much air in there for packaging to keep it from getting the chips crunched,
Yeah.
So it's always seemed like they're screwing you.
Well, it is kind of a screw, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, this is kind of tagging on to that. Lay's has another thing. Fans of Lay's products can start submitting ideas on a new potato chip flavor, maybe become a millionaire. They have a thing, Do Us a Flavor. It's a contest that started yesterday. It's been on a 7-year hiatus. It said after years of people asking for its return, I know I have been. Have you? You've been wanting to name a Lay's chip? You've been
I
thinking
email,
about it?
Email weekly. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 years. My life's been empty.
I think I'm gonna do the pizza turkey dinner chip.
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go.
No, that's,
I think I'm gonna do that.
you know what? Have you ever had a chip or food so weird it hurts your head? Like I ate a hot dog flavored chip one time.
Okay.
It tastes so much like a hot dog, I couldn't process it. It made me very uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
it's
that's
been
kinda
bothering me
strange.
for years. It tasted too much like a hot dog.
I ate a scorpion.
Why?
Like the actual bug?
Yeah.
Or a chip?
Why did you do this?
I was in China and they were selling it to eat, so Jason told me I had to because
Oh,
I was a P word if I didn't.
you're a wussy?
Yeah.
Was it alive?
No, they
Oh.
deep fry it.
They deep fry. What did it taste like? Nothing?
It tasted like Cavender's flavored crunchy.
Cavender's flavored crunchy.
Like they put some seasoning in it after they, but I ate 2 of them.
Really?
Oh, it must have been okay then. You had
No,
second.
they're just 5 on a stick. Me and a girl shared.
What
it.
kind of
Okay,
sauce do you do? Is that ranch or barbecue? What do you put on that?
Ranch. Always ranch.
You're a ranch girl?
Oh yeah.
What about yourself, Rich? What kind of sauce are you a sauce guy?
Ranch, barbecue.
Ranch?
you know,
Okay.
yeah.
Yourself?
I mean, depends. I like ranch is easy. Barbecue's good. Sometimes I like hot barbecue.
Yeah.
So they got a new thing we got at Walmart the other day. It's hot ketchup, spicy ketchup.
Oh, yeah?
In this glass bottle. It's wonderful. I forget.
you
the-
like
I
it,
think
huh?
it's Hoff's hot ketchup or something. Dude,
See,
it's
you know, getting
fantastic.
older when you like the spicy
Oh,
ketchup.
oh, it's so good. You got to go get your bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. I am the odd man out in my family. I do not like ranch. I don't like it at all. It
Like-
makes my wife very upset.
Do you see it as a dipping sauce or a salad dressing? Because I mean, it's
It's either. I mean,
kinda
every.
Depends on the
place.
It's.
consistency.
I think it's the #1 dipping sauce in America.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
I think it is. I think
If
everybody.
it's like thick, then that's dipping. If it's ready, it's
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And there's different variations. Like when I met Laura, she was still getting the ranch from Hidden Valley in a bottle, and I converted her over. I said, "Have you ever made your own?"
Yeah.
And I made it for her, and she's never bought. She doesn't buy the store bought anymore.
Jason
She makes
always
it
makes me healthy versions of everything.
healthy version.
Yeah, but he's
You
just-
can't have healthy ranch. Ranch is fat. You rub it on your ass. I mean, that's what
No,
you
he
do
can
with it.
Do anything healthy? Have you not seen?
Oh, well, how do you make it healthy?
I'm not the chef. He's the shirtless chef. Did you not know this, Patrick?
I guess I didn't.
Yeah.
Do we need to have him come in and shirtless cook for us or something
You will
on the
love
show?
it. Well, you might not, but I would.
Well, the ladies might like to see it, or not even just the ladies. Anybody might. I don't know who might like to see it. Rich,
Yeah.
you might. I don't know.
He could,
but
he could be a wrestler for you. The shirtless chef.
The
He
shirtless
brings
chef,
out
there
his
we go.
meals, and
now, does he have a YouTube or anything? Does he really do that?
he's got tons of articles on my Celine.
Yeah.
Yeah, tons of.
You
them.
know I can't read.
I know.
So
I'll send you some.
yeah, we should have it. Tell him we need to have the shirtless chef on the show for sure.
I'll do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure. What's his specialty to whip up?
I'm
Your
telling you,
hormones?
What? I mean,
Heyo.
he's pretty cute. He takes he takes recipes and makes them healthy. So and the recipes are on there, and then you can make it yourself. Like he makes a healthy Big Mac. And I mean, just everything is healthy.
That sounds like an oxymoron, but I'm going to trust that you're telling the truth there. I just don't know. It seems hard to believe a healthy Big Mac.
Well, I mean, it's not a true Big Mac.
Oh,
It sure
okay.
tastes like one.
Yeah.
It's just healthy.
Okay. All right. Now, he's not a vegan, is he?
He's not.
Okay. So it is hamburgers that you're eating, like soy burger or.
Like grass
vegetable bur-
fed,
You know,
pasture
I
raised,
used
all
to.
that stuff.
I saw something the other day that I should have known this. I thought grass fed kind of meant, and I guess they use a lot of these feel good things. That meant they were out like on a nice field and
Okay.
in a meadow eating grass. That is not the case.
What's it mean?
No, it just means they roll fresh grass right up in front of them. They're still in the, standing in the same type stalls, just getting fresh grass.
So you want pasture raised? versus
Well, I think free range is the correct word. Free range.
chickens, right? I don't know.
Well, yeah, it could be. Free range chickens, they have cable, they have recliners, they have, paid time off, they have PTO.
Have you ever tried to go vegetarian or vegan?
No, not
Really?
really, not seriously.
Yeah. I don't have really a moral issue with eating meat necessarily.
No, I have zero.
I would like to try to do that, but it seems very, very difficult. And but the health benefits have to be fantastic. Anybody that you see that really is a honest to God vegan or vegetarian, you don't see they're not fat.
No, but I don't feel like, I don't know, man. I might challenge that. I think that these bodies are meant to run on a high level of protein. Now, you may be able to get it through other sources.
There are,
but,
yes. Yes.
But I'm saying that I don't know, man. Everybody I've ever seen that doesn't eat meat seems anemic to me.
Well, I mean, they might be anemic, but they call it a pesca vegetarian, where he eats fish is the only
Oh, okay.
meat that he
Yeah,
eats.
yeah. He's
And-
like 900.
And I could go with that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
fish.
how old is he?
I don't know.
Man, he's got to be close to 90.
70?
Yeah.
Steve's,
No, I think he's way older than that.
Dude, no, Steve Martin's
Steve
not
Martin?
way older.
Yeah.
70s, easy.
You think so?
Yeah,
All right.
90, yeah, good
You
one.
know what?
I was gonna say, who's gonna
I
pull out
would
the
say
Google?
I'm doing it
I would-
right
72.
now. Hold
My guess
on.
he was born in 49.
I'm gonna say 72.
Okay, I like this game, y'all. Now we got a new game. Hold on.
I need to bring the bell in with me.
Okay, so we're gonna. Who'd we say? Who is it?
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. Yeah, sorry, my brain.
We could have just asked the audience. They would have already
Yeah,
heard
Right.
it.
I
in the
don't want to do
comments.
that. I don't
Comment
do that.
on Facebook.
All right, here we go. Okay, he was born in 45. By the
Okay.
way.
Okay.
And he's 79. So,
79,
yeah, so
alright.
he is a little younger than I thought. He is a pioneer in a way a lot of people don't know. Now, I think he's kind of a yuck comic. But having said that, he was the first comedian to really take a show on the road
Sure.
to big theaters and not arenas, but like, big places.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was huge. You should read, if you hadn't already, his book, Born Standing Up.
Yeah.
It's an autobiography of his stand-up career.
Really?
It doesn't really talk about movies. It talks about basically
stand-up.
when he started and like just his career as he developed the white suit so people could see him better.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting.
I bet it is fascinating. And, he had hit songs. He had all kinds of things, comedy albums. Back then, you had albums that people put out for
Have you
comedy.
heard him play the banjo?
He's actually very, very talented at
incredible.
that. Yeah, he's actually a
I
great
was kind
player.
of disappointed. He and Martin Short canceled their show in Little Rock last year on my birthday.
Why did they-
I was disappointed in that, too. I wanted to go.
Why did they cancel? What, it was one of them
I don't know,
sick?
maybe it didn't. I don't know, but although the tickets were too expensive, so we weren't going. But it was my birthday.
Oh,
just
you
happened to be.
could have gone,
Could have
but
gone.
you
Yeah.
didn't
No, we
go. Okay.
Yeah, I think the tickets were like $225, if
They
I
were
remember
very
right. There's something like that for
expensive,
like cheap seats.
But
and
you know,
it's high.
if you see those two together, like the same show is on Netflix, I think,
Yeah.
and it is so hilarious.
You've got two of the three amigos.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that
The
is
two
true.
that
That
you
is
want.
true. That is
The
true.
only two you want.
Yeah.
Who was the third one?
Chevy Chase.
Why do you not like?
I like
Chase?
Chevy. He seems like
No, he's a
jerk.
dick. He
He
is a
He
dick.
is.
He is a,
Yeah.
But he was very funny. Still, I guess, is funny. But
Yeah.
he was funny for in the '80s. He had a lot of good
I
funny
think
movies.
it's just
Absolutely.
as he's gotten older, his personality has evolved to where he's kind of a dick.
No, he's an ass.
Yeah.
He's a complete ass. He's one of those people who really think he's
Yeah.
more important than
Yeah.
probably he is.
I was never a Caddyshack fan, but always loved National Lampoon's Vacation.
Yes.
So the
Yeah.
first Vacation
Fletch.
is so good. Yeah, Fletch is good.
Fletch is amazing.
Yeah.
I went back and watched the first Vacation not long ago, and sometimes you just got to be there in the '80s because when I watched it this time, I was like,
Really, you don't think it holds up?
no, I was like, now Christmas Vacation holds up pretty good
It's
every
classic,
year.
sure.
It's classic, but the first one I was like, it's not as funny as I remember.
Okay.
John Candy was pretty funny. He said, what do you have, the BB gun he was holding?
it's a
him-
Magnum
Yeah, and
PI.
he finally
Yeah.
realized it's a BB gun and said, well, it could lodge under the skin and cause an infection.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's pretty funny. There are some funny lines. Now, Fletch I really liked Fletch. Fletch was a very funny movie to me.
Did you see the remake? Wasn't there
Fletch
with
Lives?
John Hamm?
Oh, with John Hamm? No, I have
Yeah,
not.
is that good, Marla?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's
Really,
great.
I love John Hamm. I just
really good.
yeah.
I love John Hamm too, but I'll be honest, I've yet to see an 80s remake that was as good as the 80s.
Okay.
Does anybody have one? A movie or anything?
Fall Guy was fantastic.
Okay, that movie was good.
That was
a
awesome.
really
That was
good
a
movie.
great
That was a
movie.
very
Yep.
good movie.
Yep.
And Fall Guy was a good show though, but that was a good. I'll go with that one. That one
Yep.
kind of fit.
They made it right.
They did that right. Any of the Arnold movies that have been remade, they're trash. Total Recall, trash.
Trash, yeah.
Yeah. There was another one they redid that was Arnold that was trash too. I'm trying to remember what it was, but all those 80s, the remake of Red Dawn, trash.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was
you
bad.
can't find an 80s movie they've redone that's good. So, all right, let's get to this, though. This is pretty fascinating. We're talking a lot these days about the hurricanes and weather and all of that. Maybe you don't know this. Talked about it in the past, but hash browns, biscuits, waffles with a hearty helping of maple syrup are among the classic Southern comfort foods. But when hurricanes tear through southeastern towns, the hot meals and bold yellow signs of Waffle House provide another kind of comfort. Maybe you don't know this, but Waffle House helps FEMA judge how strong storms are.
Yep.
It's a pretty amazing thing. If a Waffle House stays open in a town, even in a limited capacity, neighbors are reassured that the storm's unlikely to cause devastation. A closed location of the chain has come to indicate impending disaster. That metrics is literally known as the Waffle House Index.
Yep.
No, that's not the size of your ass. What might sound like silly logic has actually become one of the most reliable ways there is for federal officials to gauge the severity of a storm and identify the communities who need help the most. About 24 locations remain closed in the Carolinas and the chain's home state of Georgia on Tuesday, 2 weeks after they, dealt with Hurricane Helene. Several other locations were open, serving a limited menu. So literally, the federal government looks, and if Waffle House is closed, that's where they're sending aid the first.
Yeah, I heard about this a few years ago. There's a YouTube channel called The Company Man that I really like, and he goes by kind of the rise and fall of companies and that type of stuff.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
It's really digestible information. It's usually like 15 minutes or less. It's a really good YouTube channel. And he talked about this, and the Waffle House is a really tremendous company.
Yeah.
Actually, people love to work there, and
I believe that,
the
actually.
higher ups, they have the thing, if the people, the cook staff and the waitresses and the servers are working, the people up top are working too. So they have a thing where their corporate headquarters is open on Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
And they expect
Right.
people to work. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I don't know if that's like they say, oh, we expect you to work, and I'm working from home today, kind of a thing.
Right.
But that's what they say, and it seems to be pretty authentic, pretty genuine. The two guys were World War II buddies or something that started it.
Really?
And
Okay.
they brought values into it, and I mean it's obviously a majorly successful chain.
No, it is.
Everybody likes Waffle House. You clown on it, but it's damn good.
They got
Right.
their own songs on the jukebox in
Yes,
there. and
yes.
People will play them mercilessly while you're there.
Yes.
There is honestly, if you've been out, let's say, at the clubs, kicking it, it's 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Is there a better place to go than Waffle House?
Man, Waffle House is so good. My biggest complaint about it is it's great if you're up to 4 people.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
the booth situation,
Yeah,
you really
no.
can't pull a fifth
Once
chair
you're-
up.
once you're
It's
past
not-
fifth or sixth, you're no
I don't
good.
like the high bar. I don't like the low bar. I like a booth,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of getting to where the table seems to be a little closer to the booth than it used to be.
Yeah, it does,
You know what
doesn't
I
it?
mean?
Yeah, no, well, I guess everybody's so Ozempic, they're like, scoot it in some more.
Yeah.
Make the fat people suffer. Look, I'm coming to Waffle House. I got some fat on me. You can always see, everybody has crazy Waffle House stories. Marla, do you have one?
I don't.
You don't have a crazy.
Well, okay, I got fired from Waffle House.
Okay, let's go.
Better
What
than I
happened?
got.
How'd that happen?
Well, you have to memorize the prices on the menu. I was 16. I was dyslexic, didn't know,
Okay.
and I would write down the wrong prices. But the menu's right there. Why can't I hold the menu and put down the prices on
Yeah.
the receipt? No, apparently that wasn't allowed. So the guy that was the manager looked exactly like Larry from Three's Company.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Larry the Scallywag.
exactly like him. And he'd take you in his little office where that little window is, chain smoking, and you're standing so close to him thinking, oh, thank God I got fired because I did not want to go in that office with Larry.
Man, that's, it's funny because we were just talking yesterday about how smoking, it used to be that you could smoke in the workplace. It didn't matter if other people smoked or not. That was just how it was, and you had to deal with it, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
How about you, Rich? That is a great story. You got fired from Waffle House. I'll never forget that.
All right.
Right.
You didn't make it at Waffle
Wow,
House.
and look at me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wishing you were at Waffle House.
I know.
I'm kidding.
I've never seen anything crazy happen
No,
at Waffle House.
you
I've
never-
heard of stories though,
But you-
especially in Hot Springs.
Well, I'm
Wasn't
sure
there
in
like
Hot
a fight
Springs.
that broke out there?
I'm sure Al Capone was at the Waffle House in Hot Springs.
I'm sure.
I'm sure.
At some point.
Crazy Waffle House?
No, crazy. I got a lot of going trips, but
Yeah.
never crazy happen.
Yeah. My wife tells it. She's told this story a few times in stand up, so I don't mind sharing it. But I knew it anyway before we met. She was out with her friends, and we were getting a drink on. You're having a good time, and she had to pee. I don't know. I guess she didn't think she could make it inside Waffle House, so she just decided to go behind their dumpster and pee for some reason because that's Laura for you. And but what she didn't realize is that it's on Cantrell, and so she was so drunk she didn't realize that everybody was coming down Cantrell could see her ass.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's true story, man. Yeah, she's famous for needing to stop and pee in places that aren't bathrooms.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we were talking the other day. We used to, go all over the state doing stand up, and I don't remember where we were going. Maybe Clinton. It was particularly in the country.
Yeah.
And she was like, "You got to stop here on the side of the road. I can't wait." And so she would just open the doors, on the vehicle and stand and crouch in between. She misjudged and fell backwards down the hill.
Bro, you got to break her of that. She needs to pee in bathrooms.
I think she's good now. I think she's housebroken now.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I should not say that. I'm in so much trouble, man. That is wrong.
It's funny though. You're talking about Waffle House and like down here,
Yeah.
being used as a thing for how
Yeah.
serious a storm is.
Yeah.
In the north where I'm from, like 30 inches of snowfall, Waffle House is the one thing open. You can go there,
Yeah.
just ride out the storm.
Well, there's a huge difference in how we deal with weather here and in the north.
Yeah.
You guys get 12 inches of snow. Kids are still walking to school.
Oh yeah.
Here
Now
we
they're
get
waiting on the bus.
we get a threat of 1 inch of snow. Every school is closed. People are driving weird. And they're taking all the milk and the eggs out.
It cracks me up every time.
And what's crazy is there anybody ever? I can remember. I think in '99, 2000, whichever it was, there was an ice storm where power was out for maybe a week and a half. I know we were out about, which was post-apocalyptic at that point. But otherwise, is there ever a time that you've been frozen in so long you couldn't get groceries? I think not.
I haven't, but I do have a question.
But everybody panics like it's going to be the last snow that ever happened.
Why is it always milk and bread? Y'all just make milk sandwiches to survive on or something?
I don't know. That's I guess.
Yes, we do.
Marla's got the shirtless chef is making milk and bread.
I'll tell you this. Look, and this is really telling you that I grew up pretty poor, to be honest with you, and my mom would make sometimes for breakfast, because we were poor as hell, what was called milk toast.
Yep.
And that's just toast.
And milk.
You tear it up, put it in a bowl, put a little sugar over it, and pour warm milk on it.
Okay.
That was milk toast. That was breakfast, bro.
Okay.
Breakfast.
Was it good?
It was then. Yeah, I don't know now.
You
if
kind of
it's
paused.
good.
You're like, you know what? Actually, I'm bitching, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. But that was then. I used to like deviled ham too, and I wouldn't eat that for anything.
Yeah,
Like
sure,
potted
sure.
meat. I don't eat potted meat. I can't identify it.
You don't just once in a while make it, just to
Milk toast.
Yeah.
No.
You don't have a favorite, pastime
No,
meal?
if I were going to stop and make something from my childhood, and I've never done it, but I should, it's chocolate gravy.
Oh yeah, I love chocolate gravy.
Man, my grandma made chocolate gravy. That stuff, man, I'll punch anyone in the face for it right now. I don't give a damn.
I've lived down here since '09. I've never once tasted chocolate gravy.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I've lived here since I was 5, and I've never had it either.
I'm real sorry for both of you and your
Yes.
lives, and
Right,
that's
right.
probably caused a lot of bitterness and sadness.
Across my parking
That's
lot.
why I'm so
She has
angry
it.
of it.
My mother.
Nieces, she has
Oh,
chocolate
does
gravy.
she?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to come.
My mother makes some fantastic chocolate gravy.
Really?
Absolutely. It's probably just like Hershey syrup that she gets hot or something, but it is
No,
fantastic.
there's more. I used to watch my grandmother make it, and you make it like regular gravy. You just add in cocoa and all this stuff, and it comes out to be something quite magical that puts a lot of fat on your ass.
So does it have like an actual
It's
chocolate
sweet
taste
and chocolate.
to it?
Sure, yeah.
You take the biscuits, you put butter in them, so you get plenty of salt, and then you dump that chocolate gravy on it and you eat it.
We'd put it over pancakes. We
oh,
never
really?
did biscuits, and I've had chocolate gravy where
Well,
it's
you
kind
were
of
well
thick, almost like a pudding. Yeah, I don't want to brag or anything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, wealthy kids got pancakes.
got pancakes.
The real rich kids got waffles.
Right. I'm going to have Jason make you some healthy chocolate gravy. How about that?
If it's good, that's fine. If it's
right.
not, me and Jason are going. We're gonna have
If he's
problems.
going to go to all the trouble, just have him make a regular chocolate gravy.
Nah. Just try both. Try both.
Yeah. Now what do you remember a food from your childhood that now you probably would be like, that's crazy, but that it was a staple in your house?
I remember you were talking about potted meat.
Yeah.
I remember having this chicken in a can or something.
Oh,
It was
like
a-
Sweet Sue's chicken or something,
Maybe a little small,
like a tuna can almost.
kind of, but much smaller, and it had white paper around it, and then you
Yep.
kind of spread it, and then liver cheese, whatever that stuff is.
What?
It sounds like
It was
cat
like
food.
sandwich meat that had this white thing around it. I used to love it, and I can't.
Like
think
liver
of it.
loaf?
Yeah,
Liver
I
loaf?
think so.
Yeah, when I worked at a
Liver
gas
loaf.
station.
Oh wow, I never had that.
I worked at a gas station through the end of high school and into college, and we had liver loaf in the deli, and we'd slice it
Really?
for people. Yeah, and there's
it's got
barbecue
white
loaf
around
too. Yes,
I remember
And people would
barbecue
come in and be
loaf.
like, give me a half pound of liver loaf, and you'd
I
cut it
would-
up, and it was disgusting to
Yeah,
me. But
I
they
would
were
push that down.
Man, I
loved it.
do remember barbecue loaf.
Yeah,
That was pretty popular. How about you, man? Is it what about food from your childhood that, like now, you're like, probably not. But then it was.
I mean, I got a little bit of a belly on me, so there's not many food, choices that I'm like, no, I'm not gonna
No.
do that. But,
Okay.
nothing special that really, that I ever do.
Okay. And yourself?
No, I mean, the only modifications I've made to my diet since childhood is I can't eat as much of it, or I have to take my Prilosec before I eat it.
Okay.
So like barbecue
Showing your
kills me
age,
now.
showing your
Yeah,
age,
it's just
yeah.
it's an age thing. It's not a
I'll
preference changing.
I'll never forget. I used to put hot sauce, like the commercial said, I put that shit on everything.
Yeah.
And I really did. I mean, I was a hot sauce guy, hot sauce on hot sauce. And I remember going to get an upper, you go get a colonoscopy, and
Okay.
they did an upper and lower GI. And the doctor came to me, he goes, man, if you eat a lot of spicy food. And I said, yeah, no, I do. I eat a lot of hot sauce. He goes, you have a lot of indigestion? I said, no, I sure don't, man. He said, you're about to. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, see this picture right here where it's red? And he's that's inflammation from the spice. And I said, okay, yeah, whatever. And I blew him off. About 2 weeks later, I had the worst indigestion I'd ever had in my life. I had to quit eating spicy stuff.
Really?
For the most part. Yeah, I can eat it every once in a while.
The other day, my brother, he was like, "Hey, did I tell you about how I almost died the other night?" And I was like, "No."
What?
Oh my God! I was like,
That's it.
"Tell me,
You
yeah."
missed that
It's
one.
like, brother, tell me, open up to me, share this with me. And he said, "Well, I was laying there, and I just kind of felt like I had to throw up, and and it was like stomach acid." And all. I was like, "Oh, that's acid reflux." I was like, "I have that all the time."
Yeah.
I didn't like survive.
Yeah,
something.
welcome to your life, son.
Yeah. Chuck, he wants to get like a silicone bracelet and all
Oh,
this
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. He
ribbons
needs
for
a.
this.
He wants
Yeah.
a 5K.
Yeah, exactly.
A 5K for his indigestion. Yeah.
I was like, dude, I hate your guts for only experiencing that at 46 and not
Right.
starting when I did at like 19.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Now, is there a food that you ate so much of as a kid that now you're just like, I'm burnt on it completely. I don't ever want it again?
Ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles?
Oh, God.
Really?
Oh, I can't stand them.
Wow. Man, you would be rich in prison.
Right?
Because you could get rid of all your ramies, huh? Is there a food that you got burnt out on as a kid?
No, I don't think so.
How about you, Marla?
I don't think so.
See,
either.
I've got several because it was so regular. I mean, like at my house, you could literally you knew every day what it was going to be because she had her own menu in her head. But spam, I don't eat spam anymore. I'm done with that.
I do have spam stories.
Kool-Aid, nope, done with
Okay.
Kool-Aid. Don't ever drink Kool-Aid again. I don't like it. Chicken on a bone, I'm out.
Really? You don't chew on a bone?
Don't want it.
To gross you out?
No, don't want it. If it resembles anything that was living, I need complete disbelief. I need to believe it grew up
Really?
as a
Okay.
nugget.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to believe it had legs and eyes as a nugget.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Just a little chicken nugget running around the field.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. Hey, we got to do something here. I know what I need to do. Hold on one second. Let me just tell you a little bit about Fitz Auto. All right. If you have not got a vehicle in a while, you've been thinking about it. Look, don't be silly and go buy something brand new because as soon as you do, you drive it off the lot, you're going to depreciate 25, 30%. I promise you. Go try to trade it in as soon as you drive it off. You're screwed. Okay. Get a late model, low mileage vehicle. That's what you're going to get the most value for your money at. And the best place to do it is Fitz Auto. They work with you regardless of what your credit history is. You buy there, you pay there, and it reports to the credit bureau. Now, you can go to fitzauto.com and do an app online, or you can go to 8421 Stagecoach Road in Little Rock and do it right there. They're good folks, though. They're very good people, and if you want a good car at a good price, they're the ones that can really help you make that happen. And then one more I want to tell you about is if you're in Arkansas and you need a roof, then I want you to go to TitanRoofingCompany.com. Here are a couple things you need to know. They have a transferable warranty. That's really big if you sell your house, okay? So if you get a 10-year transferable warranty and you sell in 5 years, now the new owner has a 5-year warranty. That really makes a huge difference in a sale. More than anything, though, what they do is they interface with the insurance company for you. They specialize in getting declined jobs approved. So if you've had some roof damage, maybe a storm, a hailstorm, they're going to advocate for you. So check them out, TitanRoofingCompany.com. You want to go to TitanRoofingCompany.com. Now, let's do something different.
You wake up and you feel like crap. You know who else wakes up and feels like crap? Yeah, here comes a shameless plug.
Patrick and the people. That is right. Let's do this.
This is the segment, not like the other. People do stupid shit, you say, oh brother. Hey, it's not a copy or a clone of any previous bit. But if you think so, hey, we don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's right. We don't.
Yeah.
Whack that. An Ohio cop trying to wrangle a runaway inflatable pumpkin in the middle of a residential road was attacked by the decoration and ended up engulfed. Dash cam video shared by the Bay Village PD shows an officer arriving at a scene near Wolf and Sadler Road to find the runaway pumpkin in the middle. The video shows the cop trying to move it, but instead ends up swallowed up by it as it rolls off. The department joked the officer was attacked by the Halloween display. Luckily, no officers or pumpkins were harmed, so that's good. Police at the University of Montana issued an alert Tuesday morning to warn students and faculty of a bear walking around the campus. Well, University of Montana, wouldn't you kind of expect a bear to be walking around the campus?
I would be disappointed if there wasn't a bear walking around.
Yeah, I expect to see moose, elk, bear. I mean, that's what you're supposed to see in Montana. The police department sent at 5:09 a.m. revealed the bear was spotted near a bike rack, probably trying to steal it. The bear followed a student for a short time, but didn't aggressively pursue him. They located it down the road and just told the kids, "Hey, it's a bear. Be careful." A man was stabbed by a Popeyes employee. Yeah, Popeyes doesn't mess around, man.
No play.
No, they listen. Don't screw around with Popeyes. They will stab you. This occurred just after 11 local time. A spokesperson for the Philadelphia PD said a 28-year-old was transported to the hospital, multiple stab wounds, in stable condition. Said detectives are investigating, but the worker was acting in self-defense. The 28-year-old customer had a dispute over the food order and started attacking and assaulting one of the employees. You know, when did it become in vogue to start attacking the fast food employees?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy.
It really is.
People they have such low emotional intelligence that they would get to that level of anger over a fast food order.
I said no onions, bitch. Let's go.
Right.
I mean, that's crazy, man. All right. Let's see what else is going on here. Here we go. The wife carrying contest is back. That's right. In Maine, an annual event involving dirt, beer, and cash once again drew dozens of eager competitors to a ski resort in Maine Saturday. More than 30 couples competed in the North American Wife Carrying Championship. That is a 278-yard race during which contestants splash through water, leap logs, trudge through mud while carrying their partner like a sack of potatoes. See, Jason could probably do that. You could probably win it.
Well, not that light. But are there different weight divisions or?
For the wife, I think Ozempic
That
is
it's a requirement. Yeah, no, Ozempic would be doping. That's right. No, you got to carry the fat one. The sports origin story isn't exactly politically correct. It's based on a 19th century Finnish legend, because we all have Finnish legends in our life, involving a man known as Ronkanian the Robber. And he was known to pillage villages and carry away the women. So they based a contest on that.
Right.
Okay.
That's very politically correct. No, I like that.
I would like to look more into that because it's pretty interesting. Did he do this often? Was this just a one thing? I mean, how many women are you running
How many
off
did
with?
he carry
Yeah,
away?
yeah.
Because he could be legendary.
He could
if
be.
he just carried off
Yeah.
many of them and just kept showing up, and you're like, oh, come on, man, I just married her. What's up, dog?
Yeah. And you know, there's some guys that's like, oh, thank God that dude showed up. This guy is a Finnish legend.
That's his problem now.
No, that is great. That
I know
is,
how to get rid of her. I'll marry her.
he'll come get her for sure. He'll pick her up, no doubt about it. All right, let's go to this story then. Oh, hold on one second. Okay, man, this guy is in big trouble. It's Hurricane Milton wreaked havoc on Florida. You might have come across a video that a lot of people did. Florida Highway Patrol showed a dog that had been left to fend for itself by its owner. Over 12 million people saw that video, and now they're happy to learn justice has been served. The former dog owner has reportedly been ID'd as 23-year-old Giovanni Garcia. And the reason people were upset is he tied the dog to a post outside the house and then evacuated and just left the dog tied to the post. I'm like, bro, you couldn't get the dog in the car?
Right.
Yeah, that's
What's
tough.
the problem, man? You going to leave your dog there tied up? I mean, I'll stay behind. Get the dog out of here. That's crazy, man. Would you leave your dog back like that?
Oh, hell no.
No, man.
Hell
It's
no.
terrible.
No. You know, kid's 23. Not to make
Well, that is
story,
true.
but
He is
his
23.
brain's not fully developed.
That's probably
he was.
true.
I mean, if I had to evacuate and I was 23, I don't know what I'd do. I don't think that I would leave my animals. I'm pretty positive of that. But
Maybe he was like in vacation. He just forgot.
just forgot. Yeah,
Just
tied to the
what was
bumper.
Lucky?
Yeah.
Was that the dog's name
Yeah.
that was tied to the
Gets home,
bumper?
unpack and everything. Oh, where's Lucky? I forgot.
Yeah. All right. Many people think that anything goes in Australia. Not the case. Take the pub at South Australia's Collie Hotel. They have a policy against facial tattoos. Carrie Ashby learned about the policy the hard way when she was asked to leave by management. The 63-year-old woman had a mandala tattoo on her forehead and a sea creature design on her neck. Said she was humiliated and called it unwarranted and unjustified. They says they didn't make their policy clear. A spokesperson said, look, facial tats have to be covered up unless they have religious or cultural significance. Well, you don't think a mandala tattoo has a cultural or religious significance? Is that a good reason to keep someone out a tattoo on your face?
No,
I mean,
I'm not for face tattoos. I think it's not for me. But
Right.
it's certainly not a place to kick somebody out of a pub.
No, but you do see a lot more of it now. I mean, sometimes I'll pull up to Mickey D's or any other place,
yeah.
and you see face tattoos and
Yeah.
all that
My
Yeah,
daughter
sure.
has one right here.
on her neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
consider that face.
That's not
Right,
quite.
yeah.
But like once you get in the cheeks, like a Post Malone situation.
Yeah, or you're up
it's
on the
kinda-
forehead.
Yeah,
If she's running out of property, she might have to
Yeah.
go face.
What's she got on her neck, my
Black
man?
Widow.
A black
Oh,
widow.
okay, that's
She's
cool.
kind of covered everywhere. But
Now
yeah.
you
Yeah.
got do you have one sleeve or two? What do you
I
got
have
going on
a
there?
sleeve, and then it's down to here. I'm
Okay,
actually
okay.
doing more work on Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I notice like a lot of modern girls that I see at restaurants when I go eat. I don't go to clubs or see them out. And Maryland would not let me.
Right,
but
no,
they've just got little emblems, little things.
Oh
kinda
yeah, that is
everywhere
the
on
big
them.
trend
That's
now.
like the big thing.
It's almost like a charm bracelet used to be. It's like you're getting
yeah.
charms on.
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
There's got to be a word for
Ariana
that.
Grande. I think she's got little ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Harry Styles.
Well, she couldn't have big ones. I mean, she weighs about like 8 pounds soaking wet.
So she's
I
adorable.
saw her on SNL. I was
Yeah,
like, is
she's-
she a full-grown woman yet? Jesus.
Okay, so did you not wish she would sing over the musical guest? Cause
Stevie Nicks. Well, Stevie Nicks is like 1,000,000 years
I'm
old.
million
Yeah.
and a half at least.
No, they shouldn't have dusted Stevie off. She doesn't need the money anymore. I don't know why they keep doing that to these folks. You know, I loved Stevie back in the day. She was, I mean, in the day, everybody thought she was hot when she was Cocaine Stevie.
Yeah. Well, and Landslide is one of the greatest songs of all time.
By all means,
you
yeah,
know.
no, there's
But
no doubt.
when I saw her in SNL, I felt a little bad.
Your
for her.
dreams die.
Like my
Yeah,
first
yeah.
thought was, oh no.
No, your dreams die. You look at her and you go, wow, you didn't get the Christy Brinkley effect, did you?
No.
Because Christy Brinkley's like 80 and still looks like she
So-
did in Vacation. I'm like, yeah, I'm not supposed to feel that way about 80.
But
You
I
know, that
think
is
it was,
wrong. Down, boy.
I think it was the hollowed out eyes and the tone deaf. I don't know. I'm gonna get in trouble for talking bad about Stevie. I know, but it was just so
Cringy. It was cringe.
very cringe.
Very
It was
cringe.
not-
SNL has been pretty cringe for me for a while, but they did have a couple of good sketches that we might have watched half of it. I think we doing stand up and we're big fans. Laura and I both and both have performed stand up, and so we've always loved SNL. But the past few years, not because necessarily of themes, but because the writing's terrible.
Yeah.
I think the news never disappoints. That's what I.
News, you know what?
News,
I just saw yesterday that I was a little bit surprised by is not that I care, but people who watch Jeopardy are rabid. Like they're not normal people. Okay, those fans are not normal fans. They get real pissed off about things. Apparently, this Ken Jennings winner, who's the host now, people must think he sucks.
Okay.
So now it looks like Colin Jost of SNL may become the host of Jeopardy.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, he's going to host or did host Celebrity Jeopardy, but they're talking about. I think they're going to get rid of Ken Jennings and put Colin Jost in
Well, they
there.
have a good little like smart ass twist to it. You know,
Maybe.
maybe Ken Jennings doesn't.
I don't know. I don't watch
yeah.
Jeopardy at all, so I don't know. I don't watch Wheel of Fortune. I understand it's doing very good with Ryan over there.
Yeah.
What's his name? Ryan Seacrest. Yeah.
I haven't
He
seen
took
it.
over being the host now. That's been helpful.
Yeah.
Well, Colin Jost, he's got that Scarlet Joe money. He doesn't need. He doesn't like. He can take
He's
that
got
gig and be all
Scar
right.
Joe money.
So
This is a
you know, I like him. He seems like a likable dude.
Mr. Johansson. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Hey.
I probably would identify as that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I should identify as Mr. Laura. That's how I should identify. Okay, let's see. Put this one on the crap or get off the pot category. A Reddit guy's wondering if he's the a-hole for waiting 12 years to propose to his girlfriend. He popped the question, and she said no, and later admitted that she'd given up hope it would happen after 2 years. Now he's wondering what he should do. I don't know what the hell that is. That's the worst story I've ever read in my life. I'm sorry, y'all. That didn't even make sense. All right, let's move on here. This woman died for 11 minutes and claims that she saw heaven and hell. You know, normally you just see the light.
Yeah.
Right.
You just see the light. Well, this Kansas woman, Charlotte Holmes, shared her near-death experience. Said she visited heaven and saw the edge of hell. I wonder what it looked like. It looked like a golf course at the Rough or
Saline County.
Saline County. Why are you hating?
I'm just kidding.
Don't you hate on Celine? She found herself above my body, was led by angels to heaven, where she experienced pure joy and reunited with younger, healthier versions of her deceased loved ones. She described the time in heaven as a place of course, indescribable beauty and peace. Saw mom, dad, all that, but then said it took a dark turn when she got showed the edge of hell, where she witnessed the unbearable contrast, the smell of rotting flesh, and horrifying screams. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rough.
That sounds like hell.
Yeah, well, I guess.
I don't think you can be dead for 11 minutes. I think your body's done.
No,
11?
I mean,
Unless you're
there's-
I mean,
drowning,
your
really.
brain goes to that oxygen, so she could
Well,
come
yeah.
back and be like, "I saw this," and like, "Well, it's because your
Yeah,
brain didn't have any oxygen or blood."
I mean,
Could
unless
be
you-
that. It
You
could
know.
very well
unless
be
you
that.
drown in very cold water. That's what I understand.
I did see a story where, God, I don't remember how long. It wasn't that far back, but it was a little girl, I think, or a woman, a young woman, that fell into like an icy pond or something, and was under there an extraordinary amount of time, like 40 minutes.
Yeah,
to an
yeah,
hour.
I think I'm familiar.
She no brain damage. Now they said that because apparently it just like, cryogenic her basically.
Yeah.
Her heart slowed way down, but it kept going somehow, which is insane to think of.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. I watched a thing the other day about tardigrades. They're like these little tiny microscopic. They call them like water bears. It was discovered. You look it up. Tardigrades are like everywhere.
What is it now? Tardigrade?
Tardigrade, yeah.
Okay, TARDIGRADE.
Don't get me lying to you. I can barely pronounce it, much less
TARDI,
spell it.
yeah,
But they find out they almost you almost can't kill them. You can't. They don't.
Space bugs.
Yes, they can exist
Oh.
in space. Well, you can't freeze them to death. You can't burn them up. You can do all this stuff. Well, they think that by unlocking this protein they have, it may lead to a development in cryogenics, like where they actually can.
Oh, where
freeze
they
us
could
and
freeze
bring
you and
back
bring you
DNA
back.
Yes,
Just slow you down so much
exactly.
that you're
So-
just in stasis.
Yep. So look it up, tardigrades. It's actually a super interesting thing
That is
because it's like
interesting.
microscopic and it's a little badass bug.
So I have a tattoo
Uh-huh.
that I hate. And first I sent a picture of it to Jason, and he goes, "It looks like a tardigrade." And it does, if you know what they look like.
Okay.
You see it?
Well, I'm a
Nah,
distance,
it's hard to see from
Well,
here,
you gotta
but
look it
yeah.
up.
but
You gotta look
Okay.
it up. before you
Okay.
know.
All right.
It's, yeah, that's,
they're actually kind of ugly cute.
yeah, they're
So,
weird looking.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Okay, all right. A Polish cosmetics company. That does sound like the start of a punchline, doesn't it? A Polish cosmetics company, Bohobico, has launched a unique perfume inspired by the founder's childhood memories of local markets. It's called Polish Potatoes. Yeah, that appeals to fat people. The $185 perfume smells of potatoes, beetroot, wheatgrass, leather, and pine.
It's not perfume.
That doesn't sound
It's
much
like
like
that would be like
perfume.
a good candle, maybe.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going camping or something.
Yeah.
Something to keep the bugs away.
Somebody come sniff you. You smell like dinner.
Right.
You smell like taters and pine sol.
Idaho.
Yeah, no, that's and $185 for real. I don't understand. You know, they do the weirdest things and charge the most for it.
So crazy.
You know, if you make a perfume out of ass, it'd probably be $1 million. All right, let's see. One more here. Oh, yeah, that's a bad idea. A man in Florida, Joe Morton, arrested. This is Florida guy right here. Joe Morton arrested after he brandished a flamethrower at the cops. Police responded to a report of smoke in the area. When they arrived, he started yelling at him from his backyard and was armed with a flamethrower. He refused the orders to drop the weapon, pointed it at an officer, leading to a brief standoff. They did disarm him. They used a taser. Oh, I'm getting tased Friday. Is that tomorrow?
That is tomorrow.
Oh, my God. Tomorrow I'm
Oh,
getting tased.
really? Are you
bro.
terrified?
Hell no. No, I'm not. My wife is. I'm not.
yeah.
I don't care, man.
What is it going to be done here live?
Yes,
Is it-
no,
okay.
live on camera right here live at the end of the show.
Okay.
The folks, I think the Mayflower PD is coming in. They've got an EMT coming in, who's part of the Punisher Motorcycle Club, and he's going to be here to make sure that I'm looked after.
Yeah?
You know, but yeah,
That's
and
cool.
it's the good taser, the kind they shoot, not the
Good.
Hello Kitty. Let me just touch you with it.
You
you know,
don't have
thing.
any like heart problems, do you? Sorry.
No,
That's what everybody likes to ask.
I mean, I'm just.
If I do, would it matter at the end?
know. You
Because
might
I'm
have
not going to know.
superpowers.
I'm not going to know,
Dude.
but I'm going to be viral as hell.
All right, bro. Either what are you going to wear? Undershirt or don't be a
Diaper?
punk. Don't layer. Don't layer.
Oh no, I'm not
Just
going to
take
layer.
it.
No,
Just take it.
I'm taking it.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm absolutely going to.
All right, good.
You know, it's not going to be any fun if I don't. I mean, I asked for this.
Sure. You need to.
I
accept
requested
the
it. I want the
experience.
full ride. I want the
Absolutely.
lightning,
It's
baby.
almost kind of like a bucket list thing. It's kind of like bungee jumping.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
bungee jumped. I'm not getting tasered.
You bungee jump?
Yeah, it's great.
No, see, I will draw a line there. I did jump out of a plane, which
I
was
want to do that.
You've gone skydiving?
I have gone.
I've always wanted to go. It's on my bucket
Really?
list. Yeah. I
Well-
like number one.
Oh, really?
Really?
Number one. Even.
Okay.
Number
cool.
one on my bucket list.
think
But I
I'll-
figure if I'm not successful at it, I only get
I
one.
can't tell you what my number one is, but it ain't that. But anyway, but yeah, I went when I was probably in my 20s and went to Hazen area.
Okay.
And they used to have a lot of places there to skydive. I don't know that they do anymore or not. But, and, you know, you watch a video telling you what it's about, you know, kind of learning all that. They get you all fixed up. You get in this little plane. And then they don't just go up. You have to circle up because, you know, those planes are small, so
Right.
you can't just go straight up. You have to circle.
Okay.
And it takes a while to get up to about 12,000 feet, which is where we went, 12,000 feet up. And I was talking mad shit, man. I mean, mad shit, man. You know, I'm in my 20s. I'm really full of piss and vinegar. I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's do this. Then they open the door. That's what it sounds like, you know? And you look down and everything looks like a cartography map.
Yeah.
You're like, you can't even make anything out but green and brown grids, nothing else.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there with a man strapped to my back,
Sure.
no less. And he's like, "Are you ready?" And I'm like, "Nope, nope." And he said, "Are you ready?" I said, "Nope." He goes, "Yes, you are." And boop, pushed me right out. And man, let me tell you something. About 5 seconds later, I woke up. Yeah, I didn't even know. I passed out. And I'll tell you what woke me up is, you know, I'm in tandem, so he's strapped on my back. When you have a man that takes his legs and spreads your legs apart from the back and your arms out like this, you will wake up.
Yeah.
And I did wake up, and I was like, am I being violated? Oh, I'm skydiving. Okay. We get down at the bottom, and he said, man, the camera messed up. We're up there. I'll give you a free jump if you want to do it again. I said, I got memories. I'm good. I'm fine. I don't need to do it again. I did it. I'm there.
Yeah.
But bungee jumping, I'm always scared that, you know, it's going to go too low or the rope's going to break or I'm
Sure.
going to come up and hit the bridge or.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this was the state fair, and there was one of those.
Oh,
Even
no.
worse.
Even worse.
Well, there was a pillow, you know, the big.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes it
Oh,
better.
it's the short bungee, not like off a bridge somewhere.
No, but I would.
You would?
Absolutely. But yeah.
Somebody help Dr. Marla bungee jump off a bridge.
Well,
I know somebody's got the stuff.
You gotta
Sure.
pay for the trip.
Yeah.
No, I would love to do that again. Because your body tells you no, then once you make that leap, then your whole mindset changes. If I can do anything,
Yeah. No, I mean, I did do it and I overcame the fear because I was afraid of heights. And it legitimately, I know it sounds crazy, it did help me with that.
Well, you passed out.
I did pass out.
Like, I mean, you should have taken that free jump just to solidify the overflow.
No, I woke up enough. You know, I
yeah.
was awake plenty of time as we rode down, and you know, and then they say when you hit the ground, just start running. You know, so
That's
that
where I would have trouble because I feel like I would just break a knee or something.
That's what I think too. When you see, you're like, oh, when you see somebody landing, you're like, oh my God, don't bend your leg backwards.
Yeah,
That's what worries me more than the jump. It's the landing.
No, and I think that's where most people are. The jump's not the part that injures
Probably.
you. It's the ground.
The ground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it comes very quickly to you.
Do you remember there on like in the 80s? There was this set of like book series that came out. It was like crazy, unknown, unexplainable, whatever.
Okay.
And there's this one guy that in the commercial would say he jumped from an airplane, bounced twice, and lived to tell about it. Do you remember that?
No,
Book
I
series,
don't.
Yeah, it's a skydiver that just bounced, and
He bounced.
I mean, that's what they say.
Okay, that's crazy. All right.
I didn't get the book series, but
All right, a lot of reasons you might need a cleaning company. If you've got an Airbnb, you own a business, you're moving out, maybe you just don't like cleaning. Look, you want someone you can trust if you're going to invite them into your business or home to clean, and you want someone local. I tell you who you want to call, Blissful Cleaning. Call Cheyenne over there. She's the daughter of the Arkansas owners, and they get it a special kind of clean, not your level. You know, you're tired from work all week, you kind of clean, but they deep clean stuff. They get it really clean. You can check them out on Facebook, look up Blissful Cleaning, or just give Cheyenne a call, 314-4878, 314-4878. Tell them I told you, you get 10% off. And if you're dealing with a family law matter, by the way, it's important to choose a lawyer who gets it, who has experience. My friend Bonnie Robertson over at Robertson Oswalt Noni and Associates, they've been doing this a long time. Bonnie was my lawyer in a previous relationship and was an amazing attorney for me. She remained a friend for years, but I have a lot of respect for her. If you're dealing with custody, that's what I was dealing with. If you're dealing with divorce, if you're dealing with adoption things, they can help you out. Go call them, 866-311-3815. It's 866-311-3815. So we're talking about bucket list items. What's at the top of your bucket list, Spence?
I'd love to go to space.
Space.
Yep.
That'd be your thing.
Space.
Yeah, Captain Kirk cried when he went.
Yeah, I know. I saw
get that. And for him,
yeah.
it's got to be cathartic, you
Well,
know?
sure, and especially his age and all he's accomplished and everything. Like, yeah, absolutely. I remember in the interview afterwards, he talked about how when you leave like the blue and it gets black or whatever, how like that was really, impactful and even powerful. But no, I'd love to go to space. Now, I don't want to just. I would love to. This is we're talking fantasy bucket list things.
Yeah.
But I know that some bucket list items you can obviously do. But
Right.
I would love to go and like participate in space.
Yeah.
Go to like a
Like a
space
space
station,
walk.
spend some time. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like just being like
I mean, you're in
a
space
shuttle
now.
and down.
You're in a spaceship now.
Yeah,
but
I know. I know.
yeah.
This is hey, just check that right off.
Yeah.
But that would be kind of like an extreme thing. I do think that like space travel is going to get more readily available as the older
Sure
I
it
get.
will.
So when I'm Captain Kirk's age,
Yeah.
there's a chance I'll be able to do it. But I think just like as far as a regular doable thing, it would have to be somewhere in like just the travel realm. Like I'd love to see the big heads at Easter Island.
Okay.
I saw Stonehenge a few years
Did you?
ago. Yes, it was sick. But I'd like to go to Tokyo. I think most of my bucket list would be
So
travel.
Stonehenge, you went to overseas, I guess,
Yes,
to
that's-
London, right?
Yep.
That's
It's
where that
south
is?
of London. Yep.
Okay.
So we took a vehicle down, saw Stonehenge, and then went to a town called Poole, England, and took a ferry across the channel into France, and
Yeah.
did some vacationing
So
over there.
what were some of your observations? I've never been to Europe, so tell me about some of the things over there that were of interest.
One thing that I thought was really cool is like, say, if you're a handyman over here, you're working with fairly new stuff.
Okay.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You might have to like add a panel box to like a paneling
Yeah.
duplex or whatever. But over there, you got things that are hundreds of years old. They try to like maintain that while updating it. So you see kind of like a mix of not technology necessarily, but almost like a mix of aesthetic.
Yeah.
So you've got something it's really
Super old.
Yes, and then you've got to make it updated with LED lights and good switches and things like that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that I thought was interesting. You might have like a very weird, narrow, winding staircase, from like the pub down to where like the restrooms at. And you can tell that it's steps that have been tread for over 100
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and that was kind of cool. Just the age of things. We think about old things here. There's
But-
nothing here that's as old as bars
No, I mean,
that are over there. Yeah.
We're only a couple hundred and some years old, right? I
So-
mean, they're way older culture. than
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Now,
you know,
was Stonehenge impressive?
yes, it was very impressive. It was very impressive. In
You
fact,
weren't like, well, it's rock.
part
it's
of
cool.
my end of life requests.
Yeah.
When I die, I want to be cremated. I want my ashes mixed with my best dog Murdoch. And I
Okay.
want my family to fly to Stonehenge and sprinkle around. Because if anything happens, I feel like that's a good chance.
Yeah.
The Druids knew something.
I got bad
So
news
I
for you.
feel
Nobody
like-
in your family's going to do that.
No, they're going to do
They're
that.
not gonna
They
do
will
that.
do that. My mother.
You better leave them a check and a ticket.
My
Round
mother
trip.
would not, but Marilyn would. I know she would.
Okay, all right.
So,
Well,
but
that's
no,
good. That's a good check.
Stonehenge was awesome. That was like absolutely a bucket list thing.
Okay.
And it was impressive. So
What made it? Was it the size of it that made it impressive?
you know, yeah, the size it's whatever. I mean, it's big, it's cool,
Yeah.
it's whatever. But just like you just heard about it all your life, and you finally
kinda
see
standing
it,
there.
and it feels there's some like majesty to it.
Okay.
I'll tell you of that trip, one of the things that really stands out to me, we went to like Omaha Beach. We went there for the 75th anniversary of D-Day.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So, but one of the things that really stands out is we went to the Louvre in Paris, and that's where the Mona Lisa's at.
Yes,
And-
which is much smaller than people think.
Oh yeah, it's it's probably
There's no
it's smaller. It's smaller than that window that's over there. Nobody can see it, but
Yeah.
you can see
No,
it.
it's
but-
pretty small.
You walk in this room, and you go all these tourists. They're trying to get close to it and take pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and I took several. I had like an emotional reaction to seeing it,
Really?
and I had
Just
no.
because of all that time, huh?
Well, it was like you've just always
Iconic.
heard about it, and I never really thought I'd see it, and then I was in front of it, and then it was cool, and it almost seemed like something that was like
It was surreal.
it was very surreal. It was very surreal, but it was also very real. It was very tangible at that moment. Like it was right there, and like Leonardo da Vinci painted that. And I'd known about like how it was a commission that he never even finished and gave to the commissioner, and like it's brought all this. It has all this lore attached to it, almost like the eyes follow you, that type of thing.
All of those
And-
feelings you're
yeah,
describing the
and-
first time
and
I
like,
saw a naked woman.
Is that right? Well, I saw
Cried a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of majesty.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I didn't like cry, but there was
Yeah.
like an emotional
visceral
reaction to
response,
it.
yeah.
And that was really pretty cool.
That is cool.
That would be awesome.
Marla, what's top of your bucket list? Would you say
I really want to, me and Jason both, move to England.
you want to move to England? Hold on, you want to move to England?
Yeah, move.
Live there?
Yeah,
Okay,
Cornwall.
Cornwall
cool.
specifically. Now, what makes that? What differentiates that from any other part of England? Because I don't know.
Oh, just once you start, just pictures, they're beautiful. It's
Okay.
like quaint little town.
Yeah.
But I just
So would you hold on? Just open that door because he's a goober. He can't let himself. There you go. Okay, so if you went over, is this when you retire? Do you want to be a physical therapist over there? Do you want to do this next year? Do you want to do this? When would you accomplish this if you did?
ready to go.
You're ready now.
Sell my house. Let's go. Yeah.
Okay, I can do that in about 8 seconds for you.
I know you can.
I swear to God I can.
I know.
Yeah, I sold your friend's house.
Yeah.
All right, well, you're back in time, Rich. What is tops of your bucket list?
Oh, we talk skydiving. I've always wanted.
That's number one.
That's got to be. I mean, number one. for me.
Really?
It's been years that I've wanted.
Did you just wanted to do it?
It's just always sounded like something fun. I've seen people do it, and
Yeah.
it's just hey,
What's holding you back?
just commitment, I guess. Really.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, really, like finding a place one to do it. I know, like
It's harder to find a place now than it used to be because
Yeah.
Clarksville?
where?
Clarksville.
Maybe, yeah, probably. There, I'm sure there are some, but I know that there used to be a bunch. I talked to a guy not long ago about it, and he said a lot of those smaller schools kind of dried up because
Yeah.
it became less popular to skydive.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why it's become less popular. Maybe people are just like, I'm good. I don't know.
What are the costs associated with it?
Yeah,
Well,
man,
so for my son's 30th birthday, he wanted to do it. It was $300.
okay,
okay.
first of all,
Hey, that
Dude, Rich, come on, dude.
I mean, yeah, that's
okay, first of all, we're not going to have Lion on this show. Okay, I'm just going to let you know right now. You don't have a 30-year-old son.
No, I don't. He's 34.
That's not even true. That is a lie. Look at Marla and see if you. It is not even possibly true. Uh,
100%.
so yeah, you were talking a minute ago, or we were talking about space. Did you ever see? I think it's called Stars on Mars, a reality. It was like a celebrity reality show where they take, of course, all these entitled celebrities and they put them in environments that aren't suitable. But this show, and I think it's on Netflix. I'm not sure which one it's on. I could be wrong. It's on one of the streamers though. But they spent I don't know how much on this set.
Okay.
Because they converted somewhere to look like Mars.
Okay.
And I assume maybe it was Arizona or Australia. I don't know where it was, something like that. New Zealand maybe. But it was a lot of money.
Okay.
But William Shatner was the host.
Oh, really? No, I never saw this. Never heard of it.
Yeah, it came out maybe a couple years ago. We just watched it recently. Actually, it was really good.
Okay.
Shockingly, if you like reality shows and that kind of thing, it was really good. But I was just surprised. It was like, damn, man, William Shatner is in his 90s or in late 80s, and he is still out there, Captain Kirk, and hosting shows now. I'm sure they pre-recorded most of his stuff because anytime you work with William Shatner, you have to ask yourself, will he make production? Will he make it to the end?
Yeah, I think he's like 93 or 94, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. He's up there. I watched him on a podcast recently. It's called the Decon Chamber with a couple guys that was in a Star Trek show,
Okay.
Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah.
And they're honestly nice guys but terrible interviewers. And Bill Shatner he's a strong and dominant personality.
Yes,
and he was
very.
only going to talk about what he wanted to talk about, but he's so polished, not like refined and polished, but just kind of been in the media game.
Yeah,
for so
he's just
long.
it's savvy. He's very
Yeah,
savvy.
he could kind of just, they'd ask him a question, he'd answer what he wanted to, But he's still got his wits about him, man. He's sharp.
he's
He
super
records
sharp.
albums. I mean, he does so many things.
Not very good albums,
Not
but
very
he
good.
does. I mean, he's been doing that since the 70s, the 60s even.
He apparently owns a bunch of horses, and he loves to ride his horses. That's his
I
main
just
thing.
looked it up. He's 93.
93, yeah. It's wild to believe that. Speaking of actors, a couple things here that you might want to know. For example, over in England right now, where you'd like to be, Dr. Murphy, entertainment memorabilia auctioneer, Prop Store is their name. They're offering 350 or a little bit more than that music items that were used by or once belonged to megastars. Now, this November 15th, it'll be a 4-day event. It'll also sell film and television props and costumes. So some of the highlights from it include a Jimi Hendrix master tape. That'd be kind of cool thing to have, featuring 4 unreleased demo recordings in a box which he wrote their title on. So if you're a huge, Hendrix fan, that'd be awesome to have.
Yeah.
Can you release them and make money? Like, do you own them then?
You do own them, so I guess I don't know. That's a very good question. I mean, they're unreleased, so I would think maybe if you bought them, you should be able to release them, but I don't know.
They're probably not selling the rights to them. Right?
Yeah, you might be right. You
Yeah.
might be right. Maybe they're just selling the box and the tape.
But if they're
Yeah, you're probably
unreleased,
right.
then they've never been heard and nobody owns them. I don't know.
That's a good question,
It's
though.
still a super awesome thing to have.
Yeah, no, definitely. The framed Beat It lyrics written by Jackson will go under the hammer, as will some of his jackets. A black and gold military style jacket, estimated value $200,000 to $400,000. His red Thriller tour rehearsal jacket comes complete with multiple famous signatures, not only signed by Michael, but on the back it's signed by John Landis, who directed the Thriller video, his wife Deborah, who designed the jacket, some other people too, I guess, but that's pretty cool. Also, 15 guitars previously owned by Noel Gallagher in what the prop store says the largest collection of Oasis guitars to come to auction. Includes his first while with the band. It's a Cream Honor JT60, which is worth 25 to 50 grand, they say. If you had to own a movie prop, if there were a movie prop that you could own, what might it be?
Anything from... I'm trying to think of the name of it right now. I just had it on my head, and then it just...
Sometimes
just-
that
yeah,
happens. No,
you
it
know.
happens to everybody. Movie prop.
RoboCop's suit
Oh, that'd be a dope one.
with that Auto 9 gun.
Yeah.
I'd love to have that mannequined up in my living room.
Yeah.
Marilyn would love it.
Okay.
So, yep.
Can I have Wonder Woman's costume?
Absolutely. You
Which
can have
one?
Yeah.
Linda Carter.
Okay.
The OG Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but She don't hold a candle.
Oh, Gal Gadot is a more
Gal Gadot
attractive
is
Wonder
beautiful.
Woman.
She is.
Linda Carter paved her way.
Linda Carter did open those doors. She was
100%.
that and the Hulk were probably in those days the most popular.
Oh gosh.
I mean, those were superhero TV shows. They were terrible, but they were still great.
You know, I watched like 3 episodes of The Incredible Hulk. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm a Bill Bixby and
Yeah.
a Lou Ferrigno fan.
Okay,
you know?
okay.
And we watched it when those kids. Obviously, it was in
Yeah.
reruns then. Never watched
Yeah.
it new, but it's hokey, but like
It's
like
moody
you're
and
also
dark.
watching. Yeah, it is. And that music that plays at the end when he's
Yeah.
all hitchhiking
Dun,
away.
dun, dun,
It's
dun,
like
it's all sad.
depressing. Yes,
Yeah, I think
yes,
it's
it is.
the name of the song is something real sad.
You know,
I don't remember what it is. but-
yeah, and I don't know the backstory behind it, but like it seems like there was like a major effort to keep it like almost like it's not bright, it's not colorful, it's not silly. There's no comedy really.
No.
I mean, like it's about this dude that wanders from town. He hitchhikes into a town and gets a job as a doctor.
It
You know, he
really-
always like finds like really
Yeah.
good position. The economy must have been great.
But-
You know.
yeah, basically, it's like in the way they present it, it's like the worst disease. It's like he's got a cancer basically, and he's living with it. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
It's like that. What about yourself? Did you come back?
Yeah, I've thought of it now. The Boondock Saints.
What would you want?
Anything.
All of them.
Anything. Anything from the movie The Boondock Saints.
Anything. You know, a lot of people love that movie. I do not.
Dude, I don't either. I was about to
I
ask
think
Rich,
it's crap.
explain to me the draw. Share with me your passion for Boondock Saints.
It's just it's just there, man. I fell in
Yeah?
love with it from the first time I watched it.
Okay,
Just
okay.
the story, the guys, everything.
Sure.
I mean, St.
People are
Patrick's Day and
passionate
there.
about
They
it.
love
I
that
think-
movie. Yes.
I think it's the undertone of these guys are, going and taking care of evil in the
Sure,
world and
sure.
everything like that, and in ways that, probably maybe somewhat we think-
Vigilante, like
Right,
yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah,
kind of
I
watch
getcha.
it and just wish, damn, if I could do something, I guess that's what I would do.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
If I had to have one movie prop, I'd want a full-size, life-size, the alien from the Aliens.
oh, the Xenomorph.
Yeah, the
Yes,
Xenomorph.
That would be sick. That'd be
Yeah,
sick.
yeah. That to me is the greatest movie monster ever
Yes,
made.
designed by H.R. Geiger.
Really? I did not know that. Yeah, I remember when I saw it, nothing had ever frightened me as a creature until I saw that, and I was like, yeah, if I saw that in close quarters, I'm toast. I'm going to turn into a little girl with no problem. I mean,
Yeah.
Now the first Alien was good, but it was more of the suspense horror type.
Sure,
film.
haunted house movie.
Yeah,
on a spaceship.
but the second one,
Dude.
that's still one of the greatest action movies I've ever seen in my
Yeah,
life.
James Cameron, he
Yeah.
did something very unique in that he took a concept that wasn't his, made it better.
Yes, yeah.
And sequels are hard, but then also you look at like Terminator, which was a great idea.
T2 way
so
better
that-
than
but dude,
T1.
T2 is one of the greatest sequels and greatest movies of all time. I love Terminator.
I
2.
would agree with that,
Yeah.
actually, 100%. Look, Cameron may be a dick, but he was a great visionary and director.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I respect that. Now, are you a fan of the Avatar movies or no?
You know, I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
And what I think is, I don't think there's no meat there for me to enjoy.
I got you.
I think that when the first one came out, it was like, okay. And then like this span of time, and you
Mm-hmm.
had, they're going to do 4, 5, 6, whatever.
Yeah.
And to me,
It
it
kinda
almost seemed
lost the
farcical. Like,
mojo.
I just lost, there's no mojo in it for me.
I always felt like Avatar really got a lot of its popularity from the whole 3D thing that came out and then just kind of went away with it.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it, to me, visually was what made Avatar so amazing.
Right.
The visuals on it were, at that time, beyond spectacular.
Sure.
The story is decent, but it's like any Disney story, really. I
Right.
mean,
Well,
honestly.
Like there's so much CGI now. Like
Yeah.
back then, it was like, wow, that's really well done. Now you've seen
Sure.
a lot of stuff that's really well done, and that almost you get to a point where it's like you're watching just animation.
I will say this: they have a new Aliens movie, Alien Romulus. Have you seen it?
No, I wanted to. Have not seen it.
It's worth seeing. How about
Okay,
that? It's
okay.
worth seeing. The end really, I don't like at all. But
gotcha.
here's what I do like. Here's what I will say about it: is they went to great lengths to maintain set continuity
Okay.
from all the other Alien movies.
okay.
And they did a spectacular job, and they limited the CGI.
Okay. Well, where are you at with? Did you watch like the Prometheus? Those movies that are tie-in that are in that.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
okay.
all right. I mean, they're okay. They're all closer to Alien than Aliens.
I got you.
To me, and that's I've never enjoyed long-winded, boring sci-fi. I like action sci-fi.
Sure.
I I need shooting, I need killing, I
Sure.
need things like that going on. You chasing, a lot of
I got
chasing.
you. So you're not a Star Trek fan at all?
I love Star Trek.
Do you really? Okay,
Yeah.
that would be. I would
Yeah.
consider that more slow burn sci-fi. I mean, there's some
The
spaceship
the
battles.
series or the movies?
I mean, in any of it, I suppose. Now the movies, the J.J. Abrams are fantastic.
Yes,
movies.
they
Yeah,
are.
those are action packed. But like the series, you watching those series?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I as a kid, look, I was a super nerd for Star Trek. I probably hadn't talked about this a lot. I was a super nerd. Had a Star Trek pen pal.
Okay, cool.
I was 13. She was like 28. I
Oh.
don't know what was going on
Hey.
there. I look back at that and I'm like, that seems weird.
That does. But
This
hey.
28-year-old lady's writing me letters in Star Trek character, and you know,
Oh, in character?
Oh, yeah,
that's,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
odd. But in
Yeah.
defense of what fandom used to be versus the availability of fandom.
yeah,
now,
that's
you
true.
know,
Yeah,
so-
it was. But yeah, no, I loved Star Trek. I mean, it was probably as a kid one of my all-time favorites.
Okay, okay.
So that and Star Wars both.
Original series or next gen?
No
or where you at?
original series. No, nothing. I mean, I'm sure they're all great after that,
Sure.
but nothing to me will surpass the camp classic.
I
that
gotcha.
is- I mean, look, we were. I think a couple days ago we were saying Star Trek. Probably nearly everything in it has been made now. I mean, almost.
Well, sure. There's a lot of tech that's
And so it's influential in ways that a lot of things weren't.
Sure, sure. I was talking about Star Trek and Star Wars. I'm not a Star Wars person. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't. And if you talk to people who like it,
Oh no, they're
they don't-
passionate.
They are passionate, but they don't like any of the new stuff, which is odd because the new Star Trek stuff is fantastic.
Oh, new Star Trek. Okay, yeah.
But I think what Star Trek, the biggest problem is there's nothing more visually exciting than a lightsaber battle. So Star Wars has that
that's true.
aesthetic.
That is true.
They have that aesthetic that is fun. It's action packed. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like Trek does not have that.
No, but Trek has Captain Kirk, who's a badass. But in fairness, Star Wars has Han Solo, and they're kind of on par.
Swashbucklers.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, they're
that's
kind of on
kinda-
par
sure.
there. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Now, I remember I saw, and I'm dating myself, but I saw Star Wars in 1977 at the drive-in theater. I was a kid, 7 years old. My aunt took me there, and it was the greatest thing in my life I'd
Yeah,
ever seen
yeah.
at that time. You know,
Sure.
and I do like the old Star Wars movies, the new ones. Not so much.
Okay, yeah,
I
sure.
don't love them. The last one was a straight remake. 2 or 3 of them have been straight remakes, and I guess that's fine. But they're just Disneyed out to me now.
Yeah, yeah. I watched Rogue One. That's the last one.
Was
the
it
last-
any good?
I enjoyed it. I
was
mean, it was
all
like
right.
whatever. I would not. I would say it converted me into a fan, but it
Yeah.
was an enjoyable movie.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's probably fair to say. They're enjoyable. It's just not groundbreaking. It's like the first Matrix is amazing, and
Okay,
the
sure.
second ones are good. The second and third, they're good. They're good sci-fi, but they're not the first one.
I got you. Well, if I were to give a recommendation to you, if you have Paramount Plus, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds is a newer show. It's
Okay.
and its third season's about to come out. It's very digestible. There's like maybe 10 or 11 episodes per season. 2 seasons already out. It's got a fantastic captain, a great crew. It's visually stunning.
Okay.
It's fun. It's action packed. You'll dig it.
All right, all right. Hey, if you are in need of a moving company, you're going to move, you want to get with Metro Moving. They can help you move across town, across state, out of state, doesn't matter. They are very good at what they do. They're very conscientious. They're good people. Check them out at metromoving.co. That's CO. There's no M in it because the only M you need is Metro Moving. 20 years and over 2,000 moves. They got you. Metromoving.co. And hey, check out Josh Taylor over at AMC Mortgage. He's a friend of mine. He's local, and he can help you really get good mortgage rates. I kid you not, I had a client the other day spend $500 to get into a home. Because there's a lot of first-time buyer programs out there. Some of them have up to $15,000 that you can use towards down payment and closing costs. This couple qualified for that, and Josh helped them get it done, and that's pretty awesome to be able to get a home and move in
Sure.
for $500. I mean, that's he does conventional FHA, RD loans, VA, and no appraisal fee or underwriting fees on the VA loans. So call Josh 351-2579, 351-2579. Now, Marla, when you were a kid, what's the first big time movie you remember going to see?
Grease.
Grease, really? John Travolta. Now, are you still a Grease fan? Did you continue to go with the Grease thing? Because a lot of people love that musical.
I mean, I do love musicals now. I don't know
Do
if
you?
I'm
Okay.
a massive Grease fan, but
Okay.
I respect what it did.
No, I get it. And people who love musicals, I do understand why. I don't like them. Matter of fact, I saw someone at the headline of an article where it was trying to break down why wasn't Joker 2 successful? And I'm like, well, A, you had almost no marketing campaign, and B, you hid the fact it was a musical, and people figured it out before they got there.
I had no clue it was a musical, and I thought, why would they do that to that movie? That's seriously, I mean, it makes no sense.
I remember when they announced it was going to exist, Todd Phillips did say it's going to be a musical.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody, I remember the reaction being like, you know.
Well, I mean, and I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying, but why would you?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't make sense. I saw it. Did y'all all watch the movie?
I haven't seen
watched
it.
The
Yeah.
second one or the first?
second one.
No, I haven't.
Okay. It's. I did not enjoy it. Okay. I almost feel like it's going to be one of those movies that like will find an audience. You know.
Yeah.
With no spoilers for those of you who haven't watched it and plan to. I don't think anybody who hadn't watched it at this point plans to. Honestly.
No.
I mean,
No,
it's
I
but
would if I
the-
accidentally saw it, I'd be disappointed.
The thing to keep in mind is like Arthur Fleck was never canonically a Joker, the Joker, whatever.
Oh,
okay?
right. That's
so,
true.
like,
That's true.
It's not the same story. So the first movie is about Arthur Fleck becoming the Joker, and the second movie is about the Joker becoming Arthur Fleck.
Oh, okay.
So if you watch it through that lens, which I did not. But if you watch it through that lens, you may find more enjoyment in it.
Okay.
And you know, Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga are both good.
Well,
in it.
they're
there's
look,
not a
they're
lot.
good.
To
I
work
mean,
with in
I
my
just
mind.
I don't understand. For me, I mean, look, comic books to me are about badasses,
Yeah.
action, excitement, adventure. It's not the time to sing a song.
Well, it's typically comic books are described a lot as same as pro wrestling. It's male power fantasies. You know what I'm saying? So when you've got these superheroes,
That
do these
sounds
great
very
things-
psychological. Male power fantasy.
It is, but it's
I like that.
It's these larger than life characters that do exciting things and
Yeah.
always come out on top. You know, obviously the Joker was not even ever intended to be like an anti-hero.
Right.
Like this movie takes place in its complete own universe.
It does.
And
And
you know,
I
the first
appreciate what
one-
you're saying.
The first one excelled, and it did. I think everybody was
the
like,
first one-
"Damn, this thing is." If you think
It was
about
crazy.
think about the Joker as a character, okay?
Right.
So not as a character like character in comics or in movies, but like is a written fictional character.
Right.
I don't know, and I could be wrong. I'm not some cinephile, but you know, you had Heath Ledger win the Academy Award for playing the Joker.
Yeah.
You had Joaquin Phoenix play the Joker.
Jack
Like,
Nicholson got critical acclaim playing it.
Yes, it like that. That's one of those roles that there's so much meat on the bone to
Yeah.
work with for a talented actor, and it's been
Done many times.
done many times, but very well.
Yeah.
Right.
and all different. And I think that speaks a lot to how powerful.
Did
the
you like
character is.
what was it, Jared Leto? Is he the one that played it more recently?
You know, I did not care for Jared Leto.
No?
No, I don't mind like the aesthetic of the tattoos and the teeth and all that stuff. I
Yeah.
don't think that there was a lot there to work with.
Yeah.
I think that like that more gangster, but more
Mm-hmm.
urban gangster instead of like mafia
Yeah.
gangster. I think that's a unique direction that character could go in and do well. I just don't think they did that well.
Is Heath Ledger the best Joker of all time?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. No.
Who do you think the best is?
My personal opinion, and you were asking Marla what like the
Yeah.
the movie that she saw, the big.
Yeah.
For me, that answer would be Batman '89. I
Oh,
remember going
with
to
Michael
see that,
Keaton.
and that was fantastic to me. I mean, I was all in for that Batman.
Man,
yeah.
that was a dope ass Batman.
So like, I think Jack Nicholson has a special place in my heart.
I
as
get
the
that.
Joker.
I get that, man.
And that's where I would be with him for sure.
That movie, look, as a matter of fact, I'll still say I think that Michael Keaton is the best Bruce Wayne to this
I
day.
agree.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. He just has a certain, I don't know what the swag is, why he's got it, how he got it, what it's about. Same swag as he had in Beetlejuice.
Sure. The introduction to Bruce Wayne in the first Batman '89, when Knox and Vicky Vale are in his room that's got all the armor in it. or whatever,
Yes.
and you know they're looking at it like, oh, you can do this, and he says, oh, it's Japanese. He's like, how do you know? He's like, because I bought it in Japan. You know,
Yeah,
like,
right,
it's
right.
just
Yeah,
like,
I bought it
well,
in
you
Japan,
punk, because
yeah.
I'm a millionaire and I
Yeah.
bought it in Japan. It's mine. He's like, oh, you're Bruce Wayne, which is odd that this reporter would know who Bruce Wayne
Right,
is from
right.
the city. But you know, he was fantastic. Michael Keaton has a swagger to
Look,
him.
there's a reason now in the most recent Flash movie, because, you know, that guy, I'm trying to remember the actor's name, but he's had a lot of issues, you know. And but I noticed on wherever I was looking at it, whatever service it was, that now Michael Keaton is the main figure on the front of it.
yeah.
But he was the best part of that movie, honestly. I mean,
I did
people
not
seeing
watch it.
Michael Keaton come back as Batman, they were like, this is amazing,
Yes.
you know? There's a lot of nostalgia to it.
Sure. I hate that I've not watched it. I'm almost embarrassed that I haven't. There's so much negativity about it.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
it's hard for
understand
me to
why.
get to the movie theater, and so I wait for things to come out on streaming, and then
Yeah.
they pass me by.
The first one that Flash was in, the Justice League or whatever, he was very Ezra. What's his name? Ezra
Miller?
Miller. Yeah, Ezra Miller. Yeah, very highly entertaining. Didn't hit the same note to
You
me.
know, I don't know where he came from. I didn't watch, and I don't know any
I
of his
don't
past movies
really
up into
either,
that or
to be
TV shows.
honest.
But he's such a troubled individual.
Yeah.
You know, and he seems to be kind of like just a pest.
Who he is.
You don't know who he is? No, I think he's already been canceled out. But
Yeah.
but yeah. So, what was the first big movie you remember as a kid?
As a kid?
Yeah,
Oh gosh.
going to the theater to see, not on DVD
Yeah, I gotta think back.
or video
years
or
ago.
TV.
I think it was like Aladdin or the Lion
Okay.
King.
Like,
I mean, that was like a
Aladdin
kid-
with Robin Williams. Aladdin,
Yeah. Oh yeah, the good Aladdin.
not the Will Smith.
no, not the
Aladdin.
new
Yeah,
Will
yeah.
Smith one. But yeah.
Those movies were huge. I mean,
Oh,
those
yeah.
Disney movies
Oh,
were
yeah.
like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
became cultural phenomenons. I saw my brother and I. We went and saw Blair Witch Project.
Oh,
And
yeah.
In my mind, it was like standing room only in the theater. It's like they sold more
I
tickets
think it
than
was.
seats. It was crazy, and people were
Very
terrified.
disappointing.
Oh, I mean, like as my age at the time, I was blown away by it. But I mean, that shocked people. Like people were that movie really did scare people. That found footage aspect.
It did. You know, I know it sounds weird. I watched it by myself at home, and it scared me.
Yeah.
But I do also understand what you're saying, which is the level of disappointment a lot of people have because you never really, you know, spoiler alert to this 30-year-old movie, you never really see anything.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just all psychological.
Sure.
And so it was a real interesting thing, but it did kind of open, that was the found footage door.
Yeah.
That opened up because they made that for $100,000 on their credit cards
Crazy.
and sold it for $1 million to the production company, who then made $100 million, I
Yep.
think, on it.
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen a movie that totally disappointed you?
Many of them.
Well, I mean, like in the theater that you're excited about, was hyped up, and it just totally did not connect.
Something that I was really disappointed in. Let me think. Yeah, because there's going to be something. Yeah, to be honest with you, Return of the Jedi,
Okay.
when they got to the Ewoks.
Okay.
And I know that probably to people sounds dumb, but I was like, this is the goofiest Muppet shit I've ever seen in my life. Why is it in the middle of my Star? I need to see hands being cut off. I want lightsaber battle. I want Han Solo. I want him kissing his sister. Whatever is going on here. Give me that, but don't give me some Muppet thing going on. I mean, where's Kermit and Miss Piggy?
Yeah, that's a huge complaint. People hate
Yeah.
the Ewoks. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm even fine with what was the weird talking one that later came?
Jar Jar
Binks. I didn't even care about him.
Yeah, sure.
He was fine, but not the Ewoks.
Okay.
Every time I see it, I'm like, I can't even watch it. I gotta go past it.
Okay.
You know. What about you? Is there a movie that disappointed you like that?
You know, this is going to sound kind of dumb because it wasn't like it was like a huge movie. It was just
Yeah.
a movie that came in. But one of the only movies I've ever walked out of was Ali. With,
Oh,
Will Smith.
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never watched it.
I just thought that it was just bad all the way around. The
Really?
acting, everything. It was just disappointing. And I've walked out of very few movies.
Yeah, I don't.
Very few
I'm
movies.
trying to remember if I enjoy some aspects of bad movies. Like, for example, I love Starship Troopers.
Sure.
And it's trash. It's absolute trash. There's not one CGI thing that's great. But it's good trash.
Sure.
You know, so there are some bad movies that are very likable.
Yeah. Well, Paul Verhoeven directed Starship Troopers.
Did he?
And
Oh,
yes, and
okay.
he did RoboCop and Total Recall. You know,
it makes
so like
sense
it's
now.
almost
It's got
like,
that
it's almost
camp,
like,
that
yeah,
80s
yeah.
camp.
There's like a
God, that
connective
makes
tissue
sense.
to it. Yeah, yeah.
I didn't
So,
know that.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I do like that a lot. I thought that, but now I haven't watched all the sequels or anything.
No, I don't know if anybody has.
Yeah, probably not.
Sure.
Probably not, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
with
they
you.
kind of get like more of like the Roger Corman of science fiction.
Yeah,
You know, that really
yeah,
like
that-
cheap, silly. You
Yeah,
know, just
really
rip it
over the
out.
top
Yeah,
stuff.
terrible acting.
But I was surprised, you know, because the cast of the first one was really
Sure.
for a B movie had a good cast. You know, Doogie Howser was in it. Neil Patrick Harris.
Yep, he was.
I like him. I think he's a very good actor.
Sure.
And Starship Troopers?
Yes.
Who else is in that?
Uh,
Tim Allen?
Jake
Casper
Busey.
Van Diem, Jake Busey.
Jake Busey's in it.
Yeah, Denise Richards when she was very, very attractive
Yes.
lady.
Michael Ironside.
Oh, Michael Ironside. Yeah, he's in it.
Yep. So It's basically about space Nazis. Like the people that you're supposed to be rooting for are actually the bad guys in it.
Yeah.
You know, they're gung ho to go kill these aliens,
Yeah.
and there's really no point to it other than they want to.
Yeah.
So it's Paul Verhoeven is a super interesting guy. Okay, there's a RoboCop documentary called RoboDoc where they interview him, and he is animated. He is fun. He is a fantastic interview because he's kind of like this European madman.
Okay.
And he injects like what he perceives to be America into the movies he makes.
Okay.
Like bombastic and big explosions and big action, and it's the way he perceives American culture.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All
It's
right.
interesting.
Let's do something a little different here.
These shows here just keep getting better and better.
Now, exactly how much pot did you smoke?
Patrick and the people.
Hey, listen, do you vape? Or maybe you're a connoisseur of the hippie lettuce. You're looking for the dopest glassware that you could get at the best price in town. Yeah, of course you are. You want that good stuff. You want the best selection of vape flavors and brands. Stop hitting up the crappy gas stations. Stop going to places like that. Go to Crazy J's in Conway. Look, they've got every kind of vape you can imagine, all the flavors you want, different types. They've got all the glassware that you could put your medically induced coma self in with. And listen, Crazy J's in Conway, it's 2625 Donaghy Avenue. It's Suite 110. So get over there and check them out and get your vape on. Let's do this, I think.
Listen up now, I'll tell you a story. Without a doubt, it's kind of gory. It's the
Let me
worst
pause that. This guy singing this intro for me, his name is Luke Shoemaker. He's out of Nashville. He originally was from here, but now he's part of a band called Vantage Ruins. They will be here tomorrow to interview and do a live acoustic performance right here in our studio, right where Spencer is right now.
I'm warming it up.
Yeah, he's warming it up for him. But amazing vocalist, and appreciate them coming in. Let's get to it because this shit ain't funny. Doctors at a hospital in New Delhi, India, found a live cockroach in the small intestine of a patient complaining of stomach ache and indigestion. That seems like a real nightmare trip right there. 23-year-old man came into the hospital complaining about stomach problems he'd been experiencing for 3 days. Severe abdominal pain, difficulty digesting. He had consumed street food at a night market a few days prior and thinks that's where it got in there. Procedure, they did the upper GI endoscopy, and that's where they found a live cockroach just chilling out in his intestines. So for the last 2-3 days, the patient was suffering. During a routine inspection, we incidentally spotted the cockroach. They decided to remove it using an endoscope with 2 channels, one for air and water infusion, the other for suction. They think it crawled down his throat when he was sleeping. Wow, that's, man.
That's
How
crazy.
did your stomach acid not kill?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Right?
That's what I wonder. I mean, when they say cockroaches might be the only thing to survive a nuclear war, they might be.
Well, and why to go to all the trouble to? I guess if he's already getting the endoscopy, they're in there, they could do something with it. But it seems like just letting pass it. It can't hang out that
I
long.
mean, I don't know why they didn't just smush it, whatever, let
Yeah,
it get
just-
it run
yeah.
over by a turd, something.
Sure.
I mean, eventually it's going to encounter something it can't deal with.
3 days. How slow is his motility that he hadn't gotten rid of it yet? Either?
Yeah.
It's just,
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, no, he's not digesting very well, is he?
no.
Motility. I love that word.
But what about the air?
How did they say how big the roach is? How do you not feel that go down your throat? Well, even while you're sleeping, you're just like, just like.
I've always heard that like the average person swallows like 3 spiders
I
a
don't wanna
year or
hear
something.
that.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
can't
wanna
be
hear that.
Myth.
true.
It's a myth. It's a myth.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, it's a myth.
wanna hear
They've
that.
disproved the
Good.
what do they
Yes.
call those guys? The Mythbusters? Yeah, they disproved that one. I don't remember how.
Spiders.
You don't like spiders?
I don't mind them. I just don't want them to.
Crawl
down
down
my
your
throat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
sure. I
Home
feel
in
the-
your belly. You
I
know,
feel the
yeah.
same way.
No, I don't think anybody really wants that
I
that
was
I know
gonna
of.
say,
I mean, No, that's pretty creepy.
Can't think of the last time I woke up and was like, I hope a bug just crawls down into my stomach.
No, but if you watch Survivor, they'll eat them like crazy over there, like it
yeah.
ain't nothing, man.
Well, you're hungry enough, I
Hey, you
guess.
get hungry
Yeah,
enough, you
yeah.
start eating a cricket. You know, all of a sudden that cricket looks real good to you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just buy them on the streets in China and eat them.
If
Yeah,
you
that's
choose
right.
to.
You got a
Scorpions,
stick with
yeah.
5 scorpions.
Yeah, no, you ate the scorpion on a stick or whatever it was
Aren't
called.
they poisonous? Scorpion? I mean, that's how they kill,
Venomous?
right? Yeah, venomous.
I mean,
like-
they deep fry them.
Yeah, not when you fry them.
yeah, but don't they gotta like cut off the tail or like get all that
The
out? or
tail was
something?
still on there.
They may cut the stinger off. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was still on there. I just
Was it?
that-
Okay.
yeah, I got pictures somewhere.
Yeah, no, I don't know why you could ingest it that. Maybe
That's what
if
I mean, I
cooking
would
it
think-
probably cooks out
It
the
wasn't
toxin,
poison,
I
it
It
guess.
wasn't like
Yeah.
the big black ones. It's a little small tan ones.
Did you know that in scorpions, the more dangerous, the smaller they are, the more dangerous
I
they
didn't
are.
know that, no.
Yeah, that's very true. It's
Yeah, I
not
think
the
I've-
big ones that are dangerous. It's the little ones. Yeah. All right. A man from Birmingham. Let me go back. I want to set this up. Listen to me. You may be at work. You may be kind of listening in the background. Stop. Whatever you're doing, stop. Look at me. You want to hear this. A man from Birmingham who was born with 3 penises. Let me just stop again. I just said a man was born with 3 peni. I assume that's the plural of penis. Peni. Only the second person to have ever had this strange deformity. Is that a deformity or a blessing? I don't know.
It depends on where they're located.
Depends on if he makes a career out of it.
I mean, you see someone with like a third nipple. It's never like right next to the other.
No, that
it's
is
always
true.
like around the ribs. or
No,
something.
if his third penis
So
was
if you had
on
like
his
a
back,
yeah, or like
no, that could
collarbone, you know.
Oh, that'd be a weird place to have it, wouldn't it?
That would be.
Yeah, you'd have trouble with your dress shirts every time it rubbed your. Yeah, no, that'd be bad. Okay, so just one of the 3 were functional. Oh, there's a disappointment right there.
Yeah.
You may as well have 4 balls then. You just got 2 hanging around on the side and one that works. That's sad, really. What? It's like a hydra with only one working head.
So did he eat his? Was he a part of triplets, and did he eat his other twins?
Well, I don't know. The rare case known as Triphalia, the other 2 were attached within the skin of the scrote boat.
Okay.
The 78-year-old's condition was only discovered after he donated his body to science on his death.
So he never knew he had 3 penises.
No, how sad. What a sad life. This man had 3 peni, never knew it. Do you know the glory he could have had in life?
How did he not know?
It sounds like there wasn't a lot of glory in the 2 little like weird ones that were in his
Look,
scrotum.
it's the only dude who could say, yeah, I got a crowd in my pants.
Dude, you know that like at some point he was like aware something's going on. He's like, I'm not checking it out. I don't.
Why
I
is
don't
my
wanna know.
sack so heavy? That's what he
Yeah.
was saying. Why
It's
is it
strange.
so heavy, man?
Yeah.
3 peni. That is intense, man. Yeah, I don't even know how that probably would have been, even if he knew, it probably wouldn't have been bragging right.
He would have had to like checked himself out at some point and been like, something's going
Yeah,
on.
something doesn't-
Something doesn't feel right. You think
Yeah,
so?
Yeah, like you understand the occupancy of your equipment. And it would have had to have felt something's going on.
The occupancy of your equipment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. I mean that's
Quote of
fair.
the day.
It's fair. You know, you understand that the land. I get that because I've told the story that when I was telling the story the other day. I cut the end of my finger in a saw.
Okay.
And so my hand was unusable because it.
Off, let me see.
No, it grew back from the top. Yeah,
Yeah, nail and all.
it was cut down to about here.
Jeez.
Yeah, it grew back. It's crazy, isn't it? But anyway, I know. I told when the doctor said it would grow back, I'm like, you're insane, man. I'm not a lizard. Stop it. He said, no, if it's above the first knuckle, it will, and it did. But you can't use it. And I'm going to tell you something. If you've never experienced this, you don't understand what I'm saying. Do you know how foreign and weird it feels for your offhand to try to clean you up back there?
Sure.
Oh, no. It's like an alien experience. It doesn't know the terrain. It doesn't know the turf. It doesn't know the territory. It's not supposed to be there. It doesn't feel right. And it's kind of violating, to be honest. Yeah.
Your joints don't work that way. Your offhand can't do. I mean, I know there's people that are ambidextrous.
Right.
But like that means they could like write or maybe throw a baseball. But
Yeah.
If they're trying to like take care of themselves,
Yeah.
hygienic things, there's no way that they're that good at it.
Now, I will tell you this. Spencer is somebody who has he got off a line one time. We were talking on the show that I don't longer speak of. But anyway, it's stuck in my head for so long.
Okay.
Which we were talking about, how you take care of your business in the bathroom. And he said, I like to sweep, mop, sweep. You were talking about the using
talking about butt wipes.
the wipes. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
sure.
wipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweep, mop, sweep. And I never thought about it like that, but it made me laugh so hard. Yeah, now everybody's getting on the bidet action.
Yeah, they are. We bought one for our new,
Did you?
new remodel. Yeah.
Okay.
I've not installed it yet, so
Oh,
I
you
can't
haven't?
speak to it. But yeah, it had a lot of high ratings on Amazon. I thought I'd give it a
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
How do they? I'd love to read those comments.
Well, in other countries,
Really gets up in there.
Well, in other countries, I have a friend named Godfrey Manguiza, and he's from I don't know where he's from. I don't want to speculate where he's from originally, but he lives in Canada now.
Okay.
And he talks about how when he moved to North America, he said that your butt cleaning game is third world compared to other countries.
Well, now I know in
like-
India they poop in the streets sometimes, so it's not quite that third
not
world.
Quite that third world.
Okay.
But like the toilet paper and stuff it's bleached chemicals, and there's rectal cancers associated with those
Oh,
paper
yeah?
products. Yeah.
Okay.
So I hope Charmin's not a sponsor, but
No, they're not.
Not
They're
yet,
not
not yet.
a sponsor.
but we've not tried it. I'm actually a little bit nervous, a little
See,
apprehensive
that's.
to try it.
I mean, my wife. She had one where she used to work, and she would come home and swear, so much better. And I know people say that, but it makes me a little nervous too.
My daughter has
okay.
one. She loves it.
I'm not
Really?
trying to get gross about this, but like you spray water, you got to check it. You still got to
Well,
dry it with
you
something.
better check it.
You don't want to pull your pants up and have just
No,
be-
oh
be
my
wet.
God, what are you
There
talking
seems
about?
to
No,
be additional maintenance associated with it that I'm not prepared for. so
no,
I'm
you
not
got to
installed
check it.
yet.
I used to tell the story in stand up. My youngest son, this is embarrassing to him, I'm sure. But, get over yourself. But when he was probably 6, 7,
Yeah.
and I walked in the bathroom and he had just left. I saw him leave, and I look in the commode and it's not flushed, and that wasn't the alarming part. That he didn't flush. Lots of kids forget to flush. I caught him. Tyler, come here. Look right here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll flush it. No. That's not the problem. Where's the paper? Where's the paperwork, son?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a clean sweep. No, bullshit. No. Hold on.
A bullshit?
No, I said you got to have at least one square with a lipstick print to make sure that you are good. You cannot call it a clean sweep if you hadn't tested it.
You've got to test it.
So yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. That's my nervousness about a bidet. Is it like the nozzle you put on a hose, so it's real high pressure
Yeah.
and it just, can you move it around? I mean, how does that work?
I don't know. Hers just kind of. I haven't used hers, but
Oh.
it comes out and it hooks up, and that's what
Yeah.
the water sprays. But she swears by it. I don't
Yeah.
know how. Surely you have to dry yourself.
And like
You have
I'm
to
sure
dry
that most people's bodies are roughly the same.
Yeah, I
But
would
how did
think.
you have to aim it?
That's what I don't know.
I don't
Do you
really
think
know.
You can adjust how
Yeah.
far it comes
Okay.
out.
Okay.
I know that everybody who has one starts treating everybody else like they're second tier citizens then.
Well, maybe we
Yeah.
are.
Have you ever seen the squatty potty, the little stool?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Do you use it?
Well, yes.
Do you
I
now?
have one. It's hard for me to go to the bathroom with my feet on the ground.
Really?
Yes,
It's that good to you now.
it is. It's really. I'd highly recommend it. There's something.
A lot of people do use that, man. I mean, that is not an uncommon thing to hear at all. Matter of fact, Rickshaw Mike Woodall made me one many years ago, and we had it for a long time. I don't know what happened to it, but we did have it.
What do you
for a
make
long-
it out of?
Well, wood. It's a squatty potty.
Okay.
Just to put your feet up or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. What was yours made of? Like gold?
No plastic. Something you can clean piss
Oh.
off of.
I mean,
Why
I'm
would
just
you?
saying.
Why would you pee on it?
Well, because it scoots up under your toilet
Okay.
slightly, but if you
Hit
have
the
a trickle,
toilet. Try hitting the target, man.
All I'm saying is that not every
Just out of control.
not every urination is spot on dead perfect.
Y'all
Laser.
have just opened my mind up to a whole new way of pooping now.
Well, I think that
You just
came
check
out
it
of
out.
India or somewhere, but basically it really does work because it lines you up the right way. I mean, if you think about, I know you don't want to think about it. Think about a dog when they arch. They're basically
Yeah.
putting that thing straight up in the air, so it's up and down, and it makes it just much. You're not pushing.
You're taking about
I
2
was
turns
today
out of the
years
road.
old when I
Yeah,
learned.
yeah. You're clearing the obstruction.
Well, it's like all the bathrooms in China, most of them, they did have Western toilets, were holes.
What do you mean holes?
Just a hole in the floor.
Just a hole in the
Squat
floor.
over it.
And you squat
What,
over
what,
it.
what?
Wait, that's what they call a Western toilet in
Ours
No,
is
no,
a
no.
Western toilet.
Ours is Western.
Like our hotel had a Western toilet.
Okay.
So you didn't have to squat. But like if there was a restaurant I was in, and you've got like a handlebar with sticking up from the ground where you squat down.
Okay.
And just pee or whatever.
Oh,
And
so are there stalls?
no. And as a matter of fact.
So in other words, anybody could be next to you holding a bar too, and y'all are
Yeah, and I was
doing
in
soft serve at the same time.
I just peed. I'd waited to go poo elsewhere.
Yeah, I
But
probably would too. That's a very
I was
mortifying.
peeing in a restaurant, and the door just like opens up, and everybody's just looking at you, and you're like, "Hey," just like,
It would actually be kind of fun to poop next to somebody like out of country in China. You're
Oh,
never
well,
going to
there
see
it
these
could-
personal.
yeah, I guess
You're
it
almost
could.
like an
Okay.
exhibitionist. You're like, all right,
And they
let's get
don't-
down.
Let me show you American poop.
Right.
Yeah.
and they don't have toilet paper, so we had
Yeah.
to take our own. So it was just
Hold on.
Just
Did they
make
use a
sure with
bidet there?
bidets.
no.
Well, I mean, what do they use?
They squat. So
No. For number 2 clean.
A puddle.
the way you're squatted, kind of like the squatty potty, it comes out clean,
Allegedly.
allegedly. We
Allegedly.
all brought toilet paper. and
Good
used it,
call.
yeah, but
Good call. I would think maybe there's some. No. I'm just trying to imagine now if you're not, nobody's using anything, there's got to be somebody that's, I mean,
just
what happens when you spray the tank? I mean, maybe they just eat differently and it doesn't
Maybe.
happen that way.
Scorpions, they just come
Oh,
out.
yeah,
it's the
eating the
scorpions.
scorpions. That's what it
Spray
is.
the
Scorpions
tank.
clean all that up for you.
spray the tank.
You never sprayed the tank? Come on, man. You know
Like
what
with
I'm talking about.
diarrhea. Like
Well, you
just
could
make
say
it
that. Yeah,
explosive.
something not solid.
Yeah.
Spray the tank. Yeah.
I might go
That's-
do it later.
Are you charging people to watch or the video or
No,
what?
I was just saying.
Okay.
This is just a fascinating topic.
Yeah, poop.
Well,
is fine.
It kind of is.
To switch gears a little bit, I watched
Okay.
a YouTube video the other day.
Thank you.
And it's been on my brain ever since, and I want to talk to y'all about this.
Okay.
Have
Okay.
you ever heard of this phenomenon? It's called bug chasing. Are you
Bug
familiar with
chasing.
bug chasing?
I'm afraid to ask at this point, but
Okay,
let's
Marla,
jump down this
anything?
I'm
rabbit
just
hole.
thinking of taking a mason jar and finding fireflies. So no.
Different,
Yeah.
different kind of bug. This is more of the
Okay.
virus kind of bug.
Oh.
There are people that pursue AIDS.
What do you mean?
Like trying to go
They
get 'em?
They meet on sites. They try to get AIDS. They say, "Are you? What
They're
term?
trying to
They're
contract
trying to
the disease?
contract AIDS. They want it. They deeply want it. They'll
Why?
pay people.
What?
Why?
have
They'll
heard-
message people and say, "Are you sharing or whatever?" And they'll say yes, and they'll come try to meet up and get AIDS.
You don't
I have
have
heard
to be lonely at aidsonly.com.
I have
Wow.
partners who won't protect themselves because they want to share with their partner who has it, which I thought was odd too. But I haven't heard of that one.
That's
I don't put
to me,
anything
it was
past anybody.
mind blowing. Like it's
That people
like,
pursue a disease. Now,
yes.
I assume it's not just that one. It could be any.
I'm sure there are people. This was
Yeah.
primarily HIV/AIDS, but like we grew up in the Red Ribbon and the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Philadelphia
I-
and Magic Johnson. It's like you want to stay as far away from that as possible.
No,
And
of
much
course I
this-
do.
The safe sex practices, I think nowadays, are a result of the AIDS epidemic.
Well,
And
absolutely.
there are people that actively pursue it, and they're disappointed when
Wow.
they test negative. And I
Did
mean,
they
they will cut and bleed and unprotected.
That
semen.
is wild.
Why though?
so wild.
Why?
I mean, it
They're-
seems like, I mean, when you do get it, you're probably going to be a little disappointed that it don't feel good.
Right.
Well, I mean, that's
Right
the
now
thing.
it's
There's
undetectable.
well, there's a.
Well,
yeah,
now
you
they
can
do
take
have
that,
medicine
yeah,
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. There's that.
It's like herpes anymore. I mean, it's
Yeah, they can
controllable.
suppress
herpier.
it to non-detectable limits, but there's people that I watched a few YouTube videos about it because it was kind of that rabbit hole thing.
Yeah, I bet.
And it was, I mean, it blew my mind. This one guy who I guess HIV or AIDS positive, who dreaded it, hated it, all that.
Yeah.
Wish it was. He found out that this was a thing. He started interviewing people that try to share it, and then people who are trying to get it. And it was really
Seems
weird. And
like
then
those who want to share it and those who want to get it could just meet up somewhere
they
and
do. There's chat rooms. They do.
No, I
they
mean
do
like
try
a
to
Holiday
connect,
Inn or something,
And they do.
they get AIDS con.
So there's this one gentleman said that he found 3 people that were positive, and he met up with them at the same time to try to, and finally was able to contract AIDS.
Why?
And he's happy now that he contracted
He's
it.
never been happier. There's
He's
this
on
other,
interferon medication and then.
I imagine he's doing the whole spectrum of it. There was another YouTube video where I believe Lad Bible was the channel.
LAD, Lad Bible, yeah.
And they had 3 people that were interviewing someone who willingly gives it.
That's one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life.
Willingly contracted, yes. And this one woman was a nurse, and this is in the UK, but she was saying, our hospitals, they're like, I guess government run or whatever, are already strapped, busy, and you're doing something that's going to cause you to come in here with an influx.
Yeah.
And it's
No, it's
crazy.
certainly not a considerate pursuit, but then again, I mean,
obviously I'm heterosexual. I can't speak for the gay community, but this one individual was gay, and what he said is that growing up, there's this fear of gay in the homosexual community, so much so that in his mind and the mind of other like-minded people, thought that contracting AIDS made you. I think his wording was like more gay. I don't know if that but it was.
But that was what he was kind of inferring or
that was-
implying. You
that
feel
was what
like
he was I mean, he actually, I believe, said that.
Oh,
That was
okay.
his words.
Wow.
But he thought that he felt more.
Is-
More solid in his identity as a gay man after contracting AIDS.
that is wild,
Yeah.
man. I've never heard of anybody bug catching,
Bug chasing.
bug
Bug
chasing.
chasing. It's the pursuit of this virus.
Yeah.
And they will stop at nothing to get it.
Now it's just AIDS, or it's just
Well,
chasing
Well,
it?
and
like
the
I
one
said,
he watched,
The
it
one I
was-
watched was AIDS. I'm sure that there's other things out there. I mean, I didn't know this existed, so it would not surprise me to find out that other viruses were sought after. But it was very
So
interesting.
they're trying to catch it like Pokemon. Got to catch them all.
Yeah, going to.
All the
Going
AIDS.
to. So, and you would hear these people talk about being disappointed from having a meetup and then not getting it. And then they would finally pursue it until they achieved a positive
You
test.
see, and I feel like the first time I did something with someone, I not even know I would get it.
Sure.
Because I know that I was my mom from the time I was 13, and it was embarrassing. I would get mad. It was frustrating, but it's one thing I do look back on and I go, I appreciate that.
Sure.
Because every damn time from the time I was 13, we got in the car, I'd get the condom lecture.
Sure.
Every single time.
Sure. I never got that. I had friends that did, but go ahead.
I did not use a condom until I was 29.
Yeah?
Yeah, and the first time
Freaked out.
I had a son. First time.
Really?
Yeah. So I assumed either A, I'm really fertile, or it was really, it was that 1 in a million shot
Yeah,
there.
yeah. We didn't get the in my family. There's not really ever a birds and bees talk. It was
No birds and bees, yeah.
Abstain till marriage.
Yeah.
Abstain till marriage was the.
No, I do remember my dad getting mad because I was at an AA meeting. I was really at the Alateen because he was at AA. My mom was at Al-Anon, so we had to go to Alateen.
Okay, sure.
Okay. And there was a girl there that I was making out with, and he was mad. You can't be heavy petting. You can't be doing all this heavy petting, But yeah, I never, I was like anti-not. I tell my sons the same thing. Don't be stupid, man.
Sure.
Don't be stupid.
Right.
It only
just
takes
don't know.
once.
Yeah.
And it ain't just babies. Babies are the biggest STD you can get, but not the one that's going to bug you the most.
Sure. Sure.
You don't think a baby's an STD? Oh, come on. Yeah, it's just like herpes. They don't go away.
Well, that's true.
Well, it's at least a parasite.
Well,
Yeah, at very least it's a parasite. That's right.
all my kids, almost except for one, because he's the youngest, they've all moved off. Have yours not left? Okay. They'll move off.
They're close. They're very close.
They
They're, no.
will.
No, I'm
They
kidding.
will.
I'm
It
kidding.
takes
My
really-
oldest he's out,
It
and
takes them a little bit longer.
my youngest is 2 months maybe from graduating Barber College.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's good.
No, we actually told both of our sons that stay home as long as you want to stay home. It doesn't matter. If you're going to school, it's free. If you're not, you can pay a little nominal rent to help cover your utilities and food.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you don't have to go.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say, especially in this day though, like
Well,
I
it's
remember when
tougher
I
out
was younger,
there.
like being 18, that was the goal. 18, move out, but now
Oh,
like
18.
Sure.
25,
Sure. Oh,
30,
yeah.
like stay until you
Dude,
can.
couldn't wait. I don't know what I would be like if I was, growing up in this era where I was trying to leave. I mean, there's so many people like Patrick in real estate. There's so many people that like the American dream of owning a house is not possible
Oh,
for them
no.
anymore. They've been priced out of the market, or if they can buy a place that's going to be, maybe somewhere that there's not a huge economic boom, so the work and the jobs aren't going to be there. So like that's a whole thing that's going to be an issue for the next decades. But I have a good friend, AJ, and he lives in Canada with his parents still. AJ is probably 40 now, 39, 40.
Okay.
And they're I believe Pakistani. Forgive me, AJ. I don't know. I got I got cultural blindness. I can't tell. So what they do is he's got this family, his parent, mom and dad live upstairs in this really beautiful, nice house, and then downstairs there's this wonderful basement. It's all decked out, kitchen, whole 9 yards, bedroom, living room, whatever. And he said that in their culture, what they want to do is they want to raise AJ to a level where at some point that dynamic will shift. In his youth, he invests, he saves money, he buys cars, he buys clothes, he does that type of thing.
Scoot in a little bit
Scoot
more.
in, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
And and his parents live their lifestyle. And they meet his needs with rent, utilities, that type of thing, and they allow him to be completely as successful as he wants to be pursuing any of his interests. Well, at some point that dynamic will shift. They'll move into the basement, and he'll get the top half of the house. And that's just how their culture is. And I think it's different than mine, but I totally respect it, and I think that it's fantastic way to live.
Now we're to my knowledge, we're one of the only cultures that kind of push out of the nest, versus the Euro style where families stay together longer periods of time.
Sure.
We actually like both of our sons. I mean, we're friends with our kids, literally friends, and so that they do we hang out and but yeah, I don't. When I was 18, I opened my dad's birthday gift. It was a broken plate.
Yep.
It was time to go. That's what he told me. It's time to go. And that was literally my birthday present. See you later. Yeah. And actually, that was the second time I'd left because I left when I was 16, moved out, had a full-time job, went to high school, and then that was my whole junior year. I didn't even live at home. And then I came back my senior year because they wanted me to come back. But they didn't like my lifestyle choices very much at that time.
Yeah, anyone in particular?
Weed.
Yeah.
It was a big one. Yeah, they were worried about that, which I understand, and I should be worried about that when you're a kid.
Sure.
But yeah, just me and my dad didn't get along very well.
Okay.
He was a dick, honestly.
Yeah.
And I probably was too.
Is he still around?
No, he died about 15 years ago now. But, it was weird because the dad I always had dad A and B.
Okay.
Dad A, he did get sober, but he was still a piece of shit. And he was, he provided, but he just emotionally was just toxic, very toxic, Dad B was after my dad got on some medication for his bipolar disorder that he discovered he had, became one of my best friends and one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. I miss him to this day.
That's fantastic.
I still miss him, but I hate Dad A.
Yeah.
Hate him
Yeah.
passionately. He's a pretty mean dude. But it's weird how one person can represent two completely different things.
Sure.
But and back in that time, bipolar, all these, there was so much stigma. There still is too much stigma on mental illness, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately now everybody has to have a disorder. You don't have to, by the way. You don't have to live that way, But there's so much stigma, and he certainly was of that generation.
Sure.
Where, he was John Wayne. I mean, his dumbass had a heart attack at home, knew he had a heart attack, didn't go to the hospital for 3 days. Dumbass. He John Wayne'd his life. That's how he was, So mental health, I mean, to even think about in that time, a man, the provider, the dad going to get counseling.
Sure.
That's why The Sopranos was such, one of the reasons it was such a phenomenal show, because the contrast of this badass, monstrous gangster who's got psychological mental health issues and he's in counseling for it. That was one of the joys of the program. And I think, ironically, The Sopranos probably did a lot for mental health for people to pursue it.
I remember that being kind of a shock. Oh, he's going to see a psychiatrist. And
Yeah.
But Melfi was hot too.
Yeah, she was. Dr. Melfi was hot.
Yeah, she was.
Not
But
gonna
no,
lie.
you're not to take that into the gutter. But
Yeah.
what you're saying is so true. Mental illness is the number one issue.
And by far and away.
And it's not talked about enough. It's not
No.
taken serious enough. I really feel like that us as a society, once we learn how to have those conversations and accommodate the needs of people and be able to kind of understand where they're coming from in a way. Now, I understand that, like, the world's got to flow, and there's going to be things that slow things down.
Sure.
It's going to be an issue. But like you said with your father, once he got treated, it was Father B.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and did you ever have a stigma with bipolar or anything like that where you thought, Dad is this or Dad is that, and then the medication changed him, or where was your turning point with him and his mental health?
When he got prescribed that medication, and to be honest with you, I don't know how my mom it was again a different time, but she talked the doctor into lying to him because my father was so committed. He died 34 years, didn't take another drink.
Okay.
34 years, that's a long time. Yeah. But he wouldn't take anything that he thought would mentally alter him because he felt I would be an addict to that too. So they didn't tell him the medication they put him on had that impact.
Okay.
But it did.
Okay.
And so what happened is he just immediately, like almost instantaneously, became a kind, patient, wise, considerate human being, which was something he had never been any of.
Yeah, his brain
So he had
wouldn't
some
get out of
wise.
his way.
No, it couldn't get out of its own way. But as a kid, you don't know that.
Sure.
You just know that you grew up in a violent, angry household with a bitter, angry person.
And I'm sure the alcohol was probably some self, like he was
No, it was
drinking.
absolutely
Yeah.
what it was. Look, again, times were different. My dad was 13. He had a paper route. He bought his own first bedroom suit because he had no bedroom furniture. He had 5 siblings, and he didn't even have a bedroom suit. He had to sleep in his brother's bed.
Wow.
He smoked from the time he was 11 until he died.
Sure. Okay.
3 packs of Pall Mall, no filter a day.
Damn.
Not very good. Didn't exercise, didn't eat well. Now he had Popeye arms. He had that ripped up, upper body.
Okay.
But no, he never did leg day. No leg day. He did bird legs. But as a kid, he was tough as nails. He was a badass in my mind, but he was also mean. So when he got put on that medication, it was literally night and day.
Yeah.
So did you find yourself though always waiting, like walking on eggshells, or waiting for something bad to happen because you were so used to it, even though he was nice, or did you accept it?
No, I accepted it, because he kind of came to me and unexpectedly, I was living on my own, and he came to me and said, "Listen, I know that I wasn't the dad that you deserved. And I want to do better, and I just need to know how to do that."
Yeah.
And he came to me and he asked me that, and I was like, that was the most humbling thing to experience because as a kid, he was a monster to me. You know what I mean? He was my nightmare. He was so mean and so violent and so, I remember being 5 years old and he's on the ground choking my mom. And I'm trying to say, please don't kill my mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's scary stuff.
Terrifying.
That's the kind of stuff and I'm not saying people haven't had it much worse. They have. There are many, many people, Laura among them, who had much worse childhoods than I could ever imagine. My dad was tough and he was mean, but he wasn't, he didn't do evil things. He just was an over-disciplinarian who used a belt very liberally and he was very committed when he did it.
Yes.
It was not no light whoopings when he did it.
But you do see that was abuse and wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, no. There's no doubt about that I grew up in an abusive, violent, domestic violence household. There was no peace in my home. Very little
I'm
peace.
so glad that you got that though before he passed away.
it
Glad because a lot of people don't.
most people do not.
don't.
And I guess for me it is a weird 2 sides of the coin. Because as I tell you, I still passionately dislike Dad A.
Sure.
Right.
I still remember the stuff that happened. I haven't forgotten it, and it was not good. It was like living in a war zone, basically.
Sure.
And if you've never seen, your mom running after a car because she says pull over and she gets out and he takes off before she can get me out, and you see her running and screaming behind the car, you don't know.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's difficult. That's scarring, to deal with as a kid.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm still mad at that.
Sure.
But
Because
I
they
did.
should have known better.
But I realized that person was no longer there in the place of who he became.
Right.
And so, yes, for my life, I was blessed. I was fortunate. I had another side of the coin that a lot of people will never see. I had a closure
Right. That's
that a
what
lot of people will never have. And, some people still to this day have someone in their life who's abusive or, alcoholic or drug addict or whatever it is, and they can't let go of that anger and bitterness and frustration because they don't have another side to cling to.
When you had Father A and Father B, once he became Father B, was there a Patrick A and a Patrick B? What was the
That is what a great question. That's a well, I almost did it. That is, and I can do it. I mean, I can, but I'm not going to. That's a great question because yes, there really was, because I had such a massive chip on my shoulder. I'll never forget. I was working for Hank's Furniture, and I was assistant manager, and I really was ambitious. I wanted to be the manager so bad.
Okay.
And my district manager was in, and I said, "Hey, man, can I talk to you outside?" And I was like, "Listen, I work hard. I'm the top salesperson here. I'm grinding." I said, "What's the barrier to me being a manager?" And he was very honest. He said, "Man, you're just such a smart ass." He did. I swear to God, he did. He said, "If you just cut some of that out, moderate it a little bit." And I did, and I became the youngest store manager in history. But yeah, I had this big, huge, boulder-sized chip on my shoulder that I wore everywhere, and I was angry underneath all that, and that anger would show up not on. I've never ever nor would I put my hands on a female or in a violent manner my child, anything like that.
Right.
But I was still toxic, and so Dad B helped me realize there's another path. I don't have to carry all that.
Yeah.
I don't have to carry this anger. I don't have to carry this bitterness. I could put it down. And that was something that was, believe it or not, eye-opening to me, is I don't have to carry it anymore. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
And when you realize that you can put it down, you can leave that behind.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can shed it, I know most people think, oh, well, I'll be weak, I'll be a pushover, people will walk over me, I'll be a doormat. No, you won't. You'll actually be stronger because you won't react from a place of emotion anymore.
And then you develop those boundaries too to not allow yourself to get triggered.
You try to, yeah, and it's a work in progress. I mean, look,
Always.
No matter what you do, there's no perfection.
It's always growth.
It's always just doing your best to try to get forward and do a little better. And that's why I do my best not to beat myself up, because I think we all do. I did something yesterday and went, "You're a dumbass." And I went, "No, you're not. You're a bitch for saying that." And so, I'll have these conversations with myself, but I have to correct myself because those tapes from being a kid, they play in your head.
Sure.
You're dumb. You're not going to do it. All those things will play, and you have to consciously stop it and go, "That's not a reality I have to live in."
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
I always follow the saying, try and be 1% better than you were yesterday.
Well, that's good. Hey, we're going to do an online contest today after the show, and so you're going to want to be checking out our Facebook at patrickandthepeople.com. Bundy Electric, Dustin Bundrick, he was just here as co-host. He's donating a pair of tickets to see Shaquille O'Neal as a DJ in Fayetteville.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, he's coming to Fayetteville Friday night. So if you want to see Shaq Diesel do his DJ thing, which would probably be a fun party.
It'd be fun to see Shaq.
It'd be fun to see, just to be part of the event. It's in Fayetteville. That's kind of cool. We're going to give those tickets away online, a pair of those tickets later on this morning. So be looking at that. And then we've got just, if everything pans out, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow, but here's what's on the schedule. The Rant is back, baby. Woohoo! That's right. The Rant, episode 786. 786 of them.
Wow.
Starting tomorrow. And then Vantage Ruins is coming in to do a live acoustic performance and interview. And then if everything goes well, I'll be tased at the end of the show, and you will all be the joyous recipients of seeing me get smoked.
I cannot wait.
Yeah. What?
If it's all right, I was just going to let you know, too, I'm going to have a couple tickets to give away next week to some wrestling events.
Yeah, we're going to have some. We're going to start doing a lot more ticket giveaways. We got some things coming up, some prizes. So that's going to start happening. We're waiting right now. We're almost at the point where we got a call in and text number. We just have to wait for it to be approved. We didn't know the process would take quite as long. I guess they're serious about this phone thing, you know. But let me just take a moment to thank Dr. Marla Murphy over, you can check her out at Exceptional PT or Exceptional Physical Therapy in Benton. Look, if you got a problem and it needs to be rehabbed, trust me, Dr. Marla can help and will help. I want to thank Rich Rockwell for being in, as always, Rich.
Absolutely, thank you.
And big thanks to Spencer Clawson, Big Brother fame, but just an overall good human being and a friend of mine coming in and hanging out with us today and bringing your insight and your joyous stories. I appreciate that a great deal.
I appreciate you having me. I've been looking forward to this. And to bounce back to the little previous segment, I want
Yeah.
to thank you for your honesty and vulnerability
Yes.
and talking about
Fantastic,
that.
yes.
Oh, well,
So
thank
that
you.
Seriously, man,
that is, you know, it's not easy to do. And anyway, I thought.
Well, thank you, man. That's real kind of you to say. I appreciate that. Well, let's get the hell out of here and hope to see you guys tomorrow.
These shows here just keep getting better and better.
Now exactly.